This is the Buzz Adams Morning Show podcast. Barstool Talk Daily. Except it's really early in the morning and no booze. For the most part.
Must be Monday. I'm moving kind of slow. I'm feeling down. Must be Monday now, baby. Turn on my radio. I need some sound. I need the greatest morning show in town. To help me get another rotten Monday off the ground.
What's today? Monday?
Recovery Monday.
Monday?
Already? Where'd the time go?
What do you mean Monday?
I hate Mondays.
Where'd the time go?
Mondays are the worst.
Oh, I hate Mondays.
So begins another wonderful work week.
Wake up, El Paso. Buzz Adams is back.
Okay. Are you done?
Let's get back to work. Showtime.
Only on 95.5 KLAQ.
Thank you so much. Good morning. Thank you for that. Welcome, everybody, to the show for this Monday. A very busy week ahead. We have a lot of guests coming up this week. For today, we've got a true crime report set to go in about an hour. So we'll be doing that. And on TV tonight, the first night of the Democratic National Convention will probably be widely covered. Joe Biden is going to speak on the opening night. Just a month ago, Joanna, the schedule was completely different.
Oh, for sure.
Biden was supposed to be the nominee, and he was going to accept the nomination on the final night of the Democratic Convention, but instead he's going to be the hype man for his Vice President, Kamala Harris.
The hype man.
That is tonight, the beginning of a few days here of Democratic National Convention. How was your weekend?
Lovely.
No, restful, I hope.
Yes. How was yours?
The same, you know?
Feeling better?
Oh, yeah. The rash, the weird, mysterious rash,
Yes.
has cleared up.
Oh, good. We had many people concerned.
I have no more. People, everybody had an opinion. People said it was shingles. People said it was scabies. It was. I just had allergic reaction. I had red dots all over my torso. I mean, like a couple hundred.
Yeah,
but they weren't itchy. You know what I mean? Your generation never had to get chicken pox, did they?
I'm sure some people in my generation did.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But typically, when I was a kid, like, I don't know, third or fourth grade, everybody got chicken pox.
Oh.
It was just one of those things you went through. You got chicken pox. And I guess they came up with a vaccine between the time I was a kid and when you were a kid. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about what we have coming up. We got a new contest that's starting, and it sounds really, really exciting. It's a cruise, and you could win, and you could be on the cruise with a bunch of famous wrestlers and rock stars. Get on board Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea. Contest is going to begin today, and we give out code words 4 times a day. Have you read this yet?
I'm reading it.
It's a great trip. So Chris Jericho is going to be there with his band Fozzy, and they're going to be a bunch of other of his pals from wrestling and from the world of rock.
From wrestling?
Yeah, it's two things that both begin with an R: rock and wrestling. And you could win tickets to go to Chris Jericho's Rock and Rager at Sea. The cruise is coming up. It's a 4-night cruise on a Norwegian gem, and it's coming up at the end of January from Miami to Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic. Meet and greet with Chris Jericho and other celebrity guests. You get a $1,000 travel voucher as part of the prize.
Woo, that's fancy.
Wait, hold on. The $1,000 travel voucher is nice, right? $500 spending cash.
Ooh.
To really see what the cruise entails, check out chrisjerichocruise.com. That's chrisjerichocruise.com. And you can get registered starting today. Here are the hours where we'll have code words. The first one in the 10 a.m. hour, then 2 p.m., 5 p.m., and 8 p.m. during Loudwire nights. We're going to have code words. Then, write down those code words and you are entered. You can find all the rules at KLAQ.com, the KLAQ mobile app. We're getting that started today. So a nice rock and wrestling cruise with Chris Jericho.
Fancy.
Yeah. Let's get a look at El Paso weather and the golfers forecast, which is brought to you by Painted Dunes Desert Golf Course. Looks like we're going to have triple digits here all week long. It's going to get at least to 100. Today's sunny, 102 for the high temperature. And let's say for the first half of the week, we don't have any rain in the forecast. We might have a little tiny bit of rain moving in Thursday and Friday, but all sunshine for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Highs right around 102 each day. And then Thursday night, we're going to see about a 20%, 30% chance of some rain before it clears up for the weekend. But still, through all that, triple digits every day this week.
Sweet.
Golfers forecast brought to you by Painted Dunes Desert Golf Course. You can set up all your tee times and reservations online at painteddunes.com. That's painteddunes.com. Or you can call them at the Pro Shop. Number is 915-821-2122 for Painted Dunes Desert Golf Course. If you're a person who likes to sit outside, look at the stars in the sky, sometimes there is going to be a very rare spectacle occurring that involves our moon.
A spectacle.
Yeah, do you want to hear what it is?
Yeah.
It is going to be, it won't happen again for many, many years. A full moon that can be called both a supermoon and a blue moon will grace the night skies tonight over the United States.
Ooh.
Do you want me to read more about it?
Yeah.
The reason this combination, dubbed a super blue moon, is rare, according to NASA, is that the two different cycles of the blue and supermoon have to align on the calendar. That's pretty confusing to me. I don't know if you get that or not.
I don't get it, but cool.
Apparently, it's going to be the last time that it's going to happen for a number of years. All right. Speaking of moons, our guest on the show today is the daughter of Frank Zappa, Moon Unit Zappa. She was kind of like a trendsetter of the 80s. 1982, Frank Zappa put out a song called Valley Girl. Have you ever heard it?
No, I don't think so.
Well, it's all about how his daughter and her friends would talk in this. There.
Oh, yeah. Like, oh my God. Like, totally. And Cena was like, so bitchin'. There's like the Galleria. I'm like, all these like really great shoe stores. I like love going to like clothing stores and stuff. I like buy the neatest mini skirts and stuff.
So Moon was 14 years old when the song came out. And that's her. And Frank, her dad, told her, talk like you and your friends talk.
Nice. Anyway, he goes, are you into S&M? I go, oh, right. Could you, like, just picture me in a leather teddy? Yeah, right. Hurt me. I'm sure, no way.
Bag your face. So Moon Unit Zappa has written a memoir called Earth to Moon, and we'll be talking to Moon Unit Zappa. Her and her three brothers and sisters were kind of like the 80s kids in the early 80s. And that's coming up in a couple hours. Iconic, that's right. I don't know how much of this she made up and how much was stuff that was actually being said, but we'll be talking to Moon Unit Zappa coming up later on the show today. We've got Today in Sound Clips on the way. I mentioned a true crime report. We're going to have that in just a little bit, and we'll have Today in Sound Clips coming up next.
The Daily Calendar.
Hey, everybody, it's August 19th. Today we celebrate aviation, photography, and potatoes. So snap a pic of a flying potato and you're golden. Then you can enjoy Soft Ice Cream Day with the saviors of the Apple Feast. It's a Russian Orthodox thing with apples, I'm guessing. And if you still have time, it's World Humanitarian Day, and helping people is helping people.
And that's today's Daily Calendar.
Hey, it's Chuck, your host for Loudwire Nights. Tonight at 7, we will rock the borderland with the best rock ever made and the best rock being made. Special guests, birthday and anniversary celebrations, and every night at 10
is about to whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Broadcasting from El Paso for El Paso. The Buzz Adams Morning Show on 95.5 KLAQ.
New contest has started. It's Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Cruise, and we're going to start registering people to win this 4-night cruise to the Dominican Republic out of Florida. Chris Jericho is going to be there. His band Fozzy is going to be performing. He's got a lot of his friends from the world of wrestling and the world of rock that are going to be on this cruise. We're going to give out the first code word of the day in the 10 o'clock hour, and then listen throughout the day for those code words. Enter and win a cruise with Chris Jericho. We are continuing with the month of August, so during the show today, we'll let you know what hour the Ghost Song of the Day is going to be played and what it's going to be. We've got a great daily prize. It is the Ghost movie soundtrack right here, right now. All of our daily winners get that. It's just a preliminary prize, though, because all of the daily winners then go into a drawing for an autographed Phantom and guitar from Hagstrom, signed by Tobias Forge a Ghost. Also, Sunday is Lamb of God. And Kerry King from Slayer is going to be there. Mastodon's going to be part of that bill, along with Malevolence. And we have tickets for that metal show at the El Paso County Coliseum every morning this week during the morning show. Yeah, so each day this week, we're going to have tickets for that fantastic show Sunday, less than a week away, at the El Paso County Coliseum. Let's get to our sound clips.
And now, Today in Sound Clips.
The Democratic National Convention starts tonight in Chicago at a campaign stop in Pennsylvania. Yesterday, candidate and Vice President Kamala Harris talked about the importance of knowing what you stand for.
When you know what you stand for, you know what to fight for.
All right. The 2024 Democratic National Convention kicks off today in Chicago with a lineup of speakers made up of all-stars from the Democratic Party. President Joe Biden, First Lady Jill Biden, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, and Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson are all scheduled to speak tonight. Protests started in Chicago yesterday in the area of the convention, with some protesters at the Bodies Outside of Unjust Laws march carrying signs labeling President Joe Biden as an international terrorist. These are pro-Gaza protesters. Here is Hatem Abudaya, who said the coalition to march on the Democratic National Convention is still fighting for more space to protest in.
We are going to continue to fight up until the step off from the park tomorrow.
And Lindsey Graham, Republican senator, was talking about the upcoming convention, and he talked about the matchup between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, Lindsey Graham said, if it's a policy debate, Trump would win, but Trump, the showman, may not win.
If you have a policy debate for president, he wins. Donald Trump, the provocateur, the showman, may not win this election.
All right. Deputies dove into a lake to save a woman trapped in a fully submerged car.
Oh, my.
Multiple officers in Orange County, Florida, dove into a lake to rescue a woman whose truck had been submerged. The truck was fully submerged, and they had to break the windows underwater to get her out. Here's audio from the dash cam during the exciting rescue.
There is somebody moving inside the vehicle.
She can't fit through the window.
The vehicle's sticking completely now.
Go get it, go get it, go get it, go get it. We retrieved the female out of the truck.
All right, so the resolution there, they got her out safe and sound. Speaking of things being submerged, you know what one of the problems is in a lot of the cities that have these rental scooters?
What's that?
People just throw them in the water.
They throw
them off bridges, and yeah.
God. There has to be a better way to, I don't know.
A lot of cities have decided they're going to ban like the scooter rentals.
Yeah, they are.
Do we still have them downtown in El Paso?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like sometimes I just see a scooter out there.
Somebody zipping around, but I don't know if that's one of the ones you get.
Right, or if that's their own scooter.
Police pulled 30 electric scooters from the Scioto River in Ohio the other day.
Dang.
Why are people just throwing electric scooters into the river? Here is Sergeant Brian Mason talking about the unit recovering all the scooters.
We had some people walking on the bike path, and they were asking why there were so many scooters down there, and the closer they got, they realized that we were pulling them out of the water, and they were shocked. At that spot in the river, it's rather shallow, so we were able to just lift them up, give them to the boat operator. But the visibility, there's no visibility, so everything we do is by touch.
And a controversial operation in Georgia. A hospital in Georgia is accused of losing a piece of a man's skull.
Oh, my God.
He still needed it because he was alive. They removed a part of the man's skull for surgery for a brain bleed. They fixed Fernando Cluster. That's the guy's name. Fernando Cluster.
And they lost a cluster of him.
They made a synthetic piece after misplacing his skull fragment.
Oh, my gosh.
Now Mr. Cluster is suing the hospital. Here's his lawyer.
They got various contradictory messages about why surgery was postponed, and ultimately Emory told them that they had lost and misplaced a part of his skull. It's mind-blowing, literally.
Literally.
I guess it is mind-blowing, literally.
Oh, my God. Imagine waking up and they're like, sir, we got to tell you we lost a piece of your skull. But don't worry. We put a fake one in.
It sounds like they never found the piece of skull they were looking for. It sounds like they had to fabricate one. Good Samaritan in Tennessee is credited with saving a missing 1-year-old girl who had been taken by a suspect. He was hiding out on his property with the 1-year-old girl. Stephen James is being called the Good Samaritan, or the hero, and he says that he held the abductor at gunpoint.
And I did hold him at gunpoint just to kind of be threatening and try to get control of the situation.
All right. The little girl was returned safely to her family.
Oh, great.
I got a few Olympics-related stories. I know the Olympics have been over for a full week now, but have you heard that Dr. Dre says that he wants to compete in the 2028 Olympics?
What does he want to be competing in? Breakdancing?
Guess.
Breakdancing.
No.
That thing where they shoot something with a gun, and then they wear those really cool glasses.
No. It is a target sport, though.
A target sport.
Archery.
Oh.
Dr. Dre says he's very serious about competing in archery for Team USA in 2028.
He's all, let me at it.
Here is two-time gold medal archer Justin Hoosh, who is offering to train Dr. Dre for the Olympics in 4 years.
Dr. Dre, hit me up. I'll be there. I mean, I live in SoCal. I'll come to your house. I will train. I will dedicate my time to train with you. I will give you all my top sponsors, the best equipment money can buy, and the Olympic style recurve shooter. I can get you in contact with all of our top coaches, our U.S. Olympic coaches.
Wow. They sound serious. Imagine, and now competing for the United States.
Dr. Dre. And there is a challenge. The gauntlet has been cast. Tyreek Hill of the Miami Dolphins wants to race Noah Lyles. Tyreek Hill, first of all, kind of started things by criticizing Noah Lyles for saying that Super Bowl champs aren't really world champs.
Okay.
I mean, because they've only played teams from one country.
Good point.
Tyreek Hill took exception to that.
Noah Lyles can't say nothing after what just happened to him. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want to come out and pretend like he's sick. I feel like that's like, so for him to like do that and say that we're not world champions of like our sport says like, come on, bro, like just speak on what you know about.
I guess he's talking about, remember Noah Lyles was sick and got diagnosed with COVID at the end of the race after he'd won the bronze.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I guess that's what he's poking him over.
Oh.
Noah Lyles is...
Like, haha, you got sick.
Yeah, Noah Lyles is the sprinter. Tyreek Hill is the Miami Dolphin receiver, and it looks like they might be shaping up to do a race to settle this once and for all. Noah Lyles says that Tyreek Hill doesn't really want to race him and is just trying to get some attention coming off the Olympics.
Tyreek is just chasing clout. The man, anytime somebody fast comes up, he says he wants to race him. If he really wanted to race people, he would have showed up like DK Metcalf. And the man raced in the 60 meters this year in the Masters division. The man dodges smoke. I don't got time for that.
All right.
I got time for that.
Back to Tyreek Hill. He says that he would beat Noah Lyles in a race.
Okay.
I will beat Noah Lyles.
You think so?
I will beat Noah Lyles.
Like by a lot?
No, I wouldn't beat him by a lot, but I would beat Noah Lyles.
All right. And Noah Lyles fired back and said if Tyreek Hill really wants to race him, be serious about it, and let's get it set up.
If he's truly serious about it, I'm not talking about you just talking on the internet and you ain't actually coming to me and talking to my agent and saying, let's set something up. You are seriously about it. You'll see me on the track.
All right. Exciting, huh?
They're like, meet me at the park.
The Cowboys played on Saturday and won their preseason outing against the Las Vegas Raiders. One more preseason game to go, and then the regular season's going to get underway.
Did they win?
They did, yeah.
Oh, okay.
None of the stars were in. Well, Dak Prescott was able to sneak in 8 references to Post Malone F1 trillion song titles. I guess Post Malone is from Dallas. He's a pretty big Cowboys fan. In just one press conference, Dak Prescott was able to get 8 Post Malone song titles. Listen, and we've set it up so a bell will ding every time he clicks off a Post Malone song title.
Okay.
Somebody pour me a drink. Yeah, I mean, I think we're talking about the finer things. I think it goes without saying that I'm fine. Maybe the wrong ones started the whole ankle gate or something, is this and that. I told you guys before, I don't want to necessarily nosedive back into what happened in the offseason. And honestly, I've got a guy for that, Luke. Whether it's winning or losing, there's no losers around here. So we've got to make sure that we get these guys in the winning mindset.
All right?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm sorry. Just trying to be present right here. Trying to be present, you know. Got to have the heart. Got to have the heart. Keep going.
Okay.
Wow, okay.
This Saturday, the Cowboys are at home. It's their final preseason game, and they're only at home preseason game, taking on the LA Chargers. KLAQ is proud to be the Dallas Cowboys radio partner in El Paso, so you're going to hear Cowboys football all season long. Our broadcast starts Saturday with the final pregame show at 1 o'clock, and as with every game, will only be carried on the airwaves. You're not going to be able to hear it streaming. We'll have music playing, streaming, but on KLAQ, it'll be Cowboys football on Saturday. Regular season gets underway Sunday, September 8th with the Cowboys at Cleveland. Dallas Cowboys football on the Q is brought to you by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. 915 Tours and Border City Ale House, the home of the 600 ESPN El Paso Monday Night Football watch parties.
Dallas Cowboys. We are the Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys. Cowboy football.
Let's take a break here. We'll come back. I got the Mo Show calendar. We've got a true crime report on the way. The oldest daughter of Frank Zappa, Moon Unit Zappa, has a new memoir out called Earth to Moon. We're going to be talking to her later in the show today. A whole lot more coming up. Welcome to Monday on the Buzz Adams Morning Show. More on the way right after this.
Coming up after the Buzz Adams Morning Show, Glenn Garza and Daniel Paulus.
And treats for the kids. Visit westernplayland.com for more details about Broccoli Sundays all month long at Western Playland.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Inderman Personal Injury Lawyers at GVILaw.com.
Work, back to school, back at it, Monday morning.
Back on the grind.
Nose to the grindstone. I'm taking what they're giving because I'm working for a living.
All right.
I want to give a few more details about the Chris Jericho Get On Board Rock and Wrestling Cruise.
This sounds a hella fun.
It does, doesn't it?
Yes.
They're going to have a lot of podcasters there, too, which says to me we could probably podcast from this from this cruise ship for 4 days, 4 nights. The cruise contest begins today. Here's what the grand prize package includes. 2 passes on Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea, which is going to be sailing January 31st through February 4th. Tickets include a double occupancy cabin on the Norwegian Gem. It's a 4-night cruise from Miami, Florida to Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic. All meals and basic beverages are included. I think that means you got to pay for booze. That's usually what that means. They're going to have wrestling matches right on board ship. And the loser gets thrown overboard into the water to be eaten by sharks.
What?
I mean, that sounds like that would be a really good... I've seen all kinds of lumberjack cage matches. We need to have a shark chum wrestling match. You get to meet Chris Jericho and the other celebrities that are all going to be on board. You get a $1,000 travel voucher, and you also get $500 spending cash for souvenirs and more. So here's how to enter the sweepstakes to go on the Chris Jericho Rock and Wrestling Cruise. Listen weekdays. Starting today, we're going to give you code words. The first one is going to be in the 10 a.m. hour. Then we're going to have one in the 2 p.m. hour. Another one between 5 and 6 p.m., and then during Loudwire nights in the 8 p.m. hour. Listen for those code words. You can also enter the sweepstakes by completing the activities that you'll find over at KLAQ.com beginning today. They got a lot more details for you there at KLAQ.com. First code word, though, coming up in the 10 o'clock hour this morning. Let's see what else is happening here. So they arrested a bunch of people last week, toward the end of last week, in the death of Matthew Perry. Today would have been Matthew Perry's 55th birthday.
Oh.
A sad new detail concerning the day Matthew Perry died was revealed in some new documents from that investigation. So they arrested a lady known as the Ketamine Queen, a couple of doctors in Southern California, Matthew Perry's personal assistant, who was the one who would inject him with the ketamine.
Yes.
And one other, like a street-level guy who was kind of Matthew Perry's connection to the Ketamine Queen. All right. So on the day that Matthew Perry died, his live-in assistant, Kenneth, injected him with ketamine 3 times.
Oof.
At 8:30 a.m., 12:45 p.m., and 1:30 p.m.
Dang.
Before that final injection, Matthew Perry asked Kenneth, quote, to shoot me up with a big one.
Oh, my God.
After following that order, Kenneth, this is the live-in assistant. He left Matthew in his hot tub while he went to run some errands. When he returned, Matthew Perry was face down in the water.
Oh, man, that's when he
deceased.
drowned.
Okay, do you think this guy was more responsible for Matthew Perry's death than Matthew Perry was, though? He's like the guy who...
He's just the assistant, right? I mean...
He was doing what Matthew Perry told him to do.
Right, his boss, essentially.
Right. You know,
Also,
he got to live in a big mansion.
The assistant wasn't like a medical person or anything. Like one of the doctors had to teach him how to shoot him up.
Correct. So Kenneth, the guy's name, he's 60 years old. His name is Kenneth Iwamasa, and he had to be taught how to shoot the ketamine up. What is the effect ketamine has on somebody?
I wouldn't know, actually.
Is it like an opiate?
I guess.
Oh, by the way, Nico's not here. Everybody who was wondering why Nico's being so quiet.
Right.
Nico's not here, and I can't get him to pick up the phone.
He's still sleeping. Effects of ketamine: feeling happy and relaxed and detached from your body. Lowered sensitivity to pain, visual and auditory hallucinations.
So just like extreme relaxation?
Euphoric. Yeah.
Okay.
A sense of floating and disassociation and numbness in the body. Great. Now that's in my search history.
For the, well, you know, it's good to know about all these things, right?
Yes, good point.
At the box office over the weekend, Alien Romulus won the box office with a $41.5 million opening, while Deadpool and Wolverine became the highest-grossing R-rated movie of all time. Hey, have you heard? I know you got the Hollywood Cheesemate coming up later.
Yeah, what's up?
Have you heard there is a huge anti-Blake Lively backlash?
Yeah.
That is sweeping through Hollywood?
I have heard. I don't understand what's happening, and I really just don't have the energy to go through like a deep dive of why is this happening.
Do you want me to give you the Reader's Digest version?
Yes, please.
Apparently, she made an interviewer cry like 6 years ago and almost get out of journalism because she was so mean to her during an interview. But that's not really what this is about.
Okay.
So her movie called It Ends With Us is about domestic violence. And on the interview tour...
I recently heard that, and I was so shocked because the whole time I'm all, I thought this was going to be like a romantic comedy.
Well, it's romantic, but there's themes of domestic violence.
Okay.
And in some of the interviews, the people are like, hey, this is an important issue. What would people, what advice would you give someone? You know, this is and she played it off as a joke.
Oh.
It was like, what, you want me to give them my cell phone number? Do you want me to give them, do you want me to sign in on location so they can come and find me and ask me about their... She was she's being criticized for being very flippant.
Flippant. about the issue of
On the other hand,
domestic
I mean,
violence.
I can see her position is, I'm an actor. I don't know what to
Right.
tell people about these kind of horrible issues. Anyway, and that's when the stuff started surfacing of her just being mean to interviewers and dismissive and...
Oh, wow. Mrs. Ryan Reynolds?
Mrs. Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, that's
is
not good.
really kind of getting raked over the coals
Yikes.
lately. But you had...
I've heard, but I just didn't really understand why. And again, I was shocked when people were like, well, the movie is about domestic violence. And I was like, this whole time I thought it was a romantic comedy because they really kept pushing it.
I don't think I could tell you one thing that I saw Blake Lively in. I mean, I'm sure I've seen her in something and just not been aware of it.
You never saw The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants?
Certainly not.
Love it.
No, what else? Was there a show called Gossip Girl that she was in?
Yes. I never watched Gossip Girl.
Nor did I.
I wasn't into it.
Anything else?
About Blake Lively?
Yeah, what else was she in? She might have been the
was in that
girl at
Green
the
Lantern
end of...
movie.
She was in Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds?
Yes, that's where they met and fell in love.
Ugh. That's cursed.
It's cursed, but I guess
that relationship
something
is
good came
cursed.
out of it.
I guess. I mean, how does Ryan Reynolds feel about Blake Lively being the villainess of the moment?
I don't know. But that is weird.
We're going to get to the Mo Show calendar and daily almanac of events, and I'm going to start by telling you that today is National Potato Day.
Hello, friends. Do you know what today is?
Spudtacular Day. It's National Potato Day.
Potato. How many different ways?
Would you prepare it?
Mashed potatoes.
Potato salad.
Potato salad.
You say potato?
You say potato, I say potato. We're a nation that truly loves our potatoes.
One potato, two potatoes. Today is National Potato Day.
It's showtime.
All right, and it is time for the Mo Show calendar and daily almanac of events. In addition to National Potato Day, today is Aviation Day. It's also International Orangutan Day.
Oh.
I was watching some nature special all about orangutans,
Okay.
and that's how they pronounced it instead of orangutan.
Oh.
So
I
now
was
I
wondering
say,
what you were trying to say.
now I say orangutan.
Orangutan. Okay.
Today is, oh boy, today is Talk Like Jar Jar Binks Day.
Uh-oh.
Me no think so. Today, August 19th, is also World Humanitarian Day. Matthew Perry, who we were just talking about, would have celebrated his birthday today, probably with some Special K, but he would have been 55 years old. Other celebrities having birthdays, actress Kira Sedgwick, who is married to Kevin Bacon, is 59 today. Kevin Dillon, Matt Dillon's younger brother, who was in Entourage, he's 59 today. John Stamos from Full and Fuller House, he was Uncle Jesse. He is Uncle Jesse. John Stamos is 61 today.
Have mercy.
What, looking good for 61?
Yeah. He's great.
Actor Peter Gallagher is 69 today. The bass player for Queen, John Deacon, is 73. Did you ever see Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie about Freddie Mercury?
No, I didn't.
You never saw that?
Nope.
I think you would have really liked it.
I'm sure I will.
Yeah.
I just haven't got
Anyway,
around to it.
John Deacon is played by the actor who was the little boy in the first Jurassic Park.
Oh, I have seen that. That it's the little boy from Jurassic Park.
Not the one at the beginning who's like, it looks like a big turkey to me.
No, like the main guy.
The main little boy, right?
Yeah.
Actor Gerald McRaney, who starred in Major Dad and Simon & Simon, is 77 today. Ian Gillan is having a birthday. Lead singer of Deep Purple, and he was Jesus in the original cast recording of Jesus Christ Superstar.
Oh.
One of the great singers and one of the great screamers in rock music. Ian Gillan is 79 today. And the birthday for former President Bill Clinton, who will probably make a guest appearance at the Democratic National Convention at some point this week. You got to think Bill Clinton will be there.
Yeah.
Former President Clinton is 78. So he's like almost exactly the same age as Trump. But he was president like 100 years ago.
Yeah. So it made sense 100 years ago.
So happy 78th birthday to Bill Clinton. Happy birthday, Bill.
Happy birthday to Bill.
Bill Clinton, that
Happy
is.
birthday to Bill.
Slick Willie.
When a girl jumps out of his cake, he'll sure get a thrill.
That's right.
Chances are he'll get smashed. Oh, he will have a blast. And he will lick the frosting off of his interns. And balloons will come down. And he'll go hit the town. Yeah, he's gonna party while Hillary's out of town. While Hillary's out of town.
Yeah.
While you're working away, we're working for you.
Your phone in Mexico, like 2 countries, 1 network. Only with AT&T. Visit att.com/one network for details.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5 to 10. KLAQ and KLAQ HD1, El Paso, a Town Square media station.
All right, we're going to get into a true crime report after I take maybe a call or two.
Okay.
Let me give out our numbers. If you want to leave a message, you can do that anytime during the morning show, outside those hours, whenever you feel like. Leave a message on our Neckline number. That number is 844-805-NECK, 844-805-6325. Drop us a message. It can be about anything you want it to be.
Anything.
If you want to call us here in the studio, that line is available for you. And it's 915-910-4995. I'm going to repeat that again because whenever we do contests and you got to call in to win, that's the number you want to use, not the recorded line. And we are going to give away tickets for Lamb of God and Mastodon, that huge metal show at the County Coliseum on Sunday. So every day this week, you could use this to win some tickets to go see Lamb of God. And Kerry King from Slayer is going to be there. It's Sunday at the El Paso County Coliseum. Studio line number is 915-910-4995. That's 915-910-4995. Let's get a call real quick off the Neckline.
Morning, Buzz. Hey, Buzz. Want to give you a heads up. So Peter Marshall, the original host of Hollywood Squares, passed away just the other day. American Comedy. He had already been retired, and whatnot, but he used to come out on in Living Color. He would be the host on their version of Hollywood Squares when they would do that skit or whatnot. I just thought it pretty cool, just a little bit of comedy history or whatnot. Peter Marshall passed away. Have a great day, guys. Love y'all.
Appreciate
Bye-bye.
it. Got it right here. Peter Marshall was 98 years old. Passed away last week. Hollywood Squares was that the one where it was like a tic-tac-toe board?
I actually have no idea. I never saw that.
Like there were
Hollywood
3
Square.
rows of 3 across, and you would try and... God, I'm trying to remember this. Yeah, that was Hollywood Squares.
I never watched this.
They had some of these old-time comedians like Foster Brooks, but the king of Hollywood Squares was Paul Lynde.
Okay.
Here, I think I brought up a clip of Peter Marshall. Oh, and they would ask questions, and the celebrities would first come up with a funny or amusing answer, and Paul Lynde was really the master of this.
Paul, true or false? Your teeth are about the same size and shape as a pig's.
Look who's talking, beaver face.
I love it. Oh, gosh.
One of the questions that Paul Lynn got from Peter Marshall was, in a game of billiards, at the beginning of the game, how many balls are in the table? And Paul Lynn said, depends on how many fellas are playing.
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast.
It's True Crime Report, actual crime stories from around the world, across the nation.
Stop breaking the law! Oh!
Just go through some of these. McDonald's worker was sentenced to 5 years after a pattern of behavior. It seems like what they boiled it down to is that anytime the McDonald's he worked at got too busy, he would set a fire.
I need a break.
That's great.
34-year-old Joshua McGregor worked at a McDonald's in Georgia. Last year, he lost it during a shift. He was apparently overwhelmed by how busy McDonald's had gotten, so he lit a piece of cardboard on fire, threw it into the dumpster outside. The dumpster was filled with flammable material, so the whole thing started going up in flames.
That's kind of genius.
There were people in the drive-thru who got out of their cars and started running away. The whole restaurant had to be shut down while the fire was brought under control. McGregor did it intentionally. He even filmed himself lighting the cardboard on fire. Because I think
that last
if
part.
you're under 40, you've got to film yourself doing everything.
I got to make content.
He pleaded guilty to arson charges. No one was hurt.
That's relatable, right? You guys have been on stage and it's been so busy where you're just like,
I wish
I'm just going to
somebody
light
just
a fire.
Just gotta start a fire in this club.
Yeah, dude. The jokes aren't hitting. All right, well, here you
I'm
go.
going down. We're all going down.
I'll be back in 30 seconds. The exits are on the side and the back. A woman ran over her boyfriend on their way to couples therapy.
Oxy God, dude.
We're gonna get it there on time.
So it's not working?
She's Latina for sure.
Maybe it's in Minnesota, though.
There's some out there.
A Minnesota woman is facing charges of running her boyfriend down with her car while they were on their way to couples therapy. It happened Saturday. 30-year-old Veronica Gast was behind the wheel, and her boyfriend was in the passenger seat. On their way to couples counseling, they had been fighting all day. Things got heated on the drive to counseling again, and he broke up with her.
Yeah.
He says he told her their relationship was over and there wasn't any point going to counseling.
That was the wrong time to do it.
Yeah.
He asked her to take him home. That's a real chick move there, dude. But anyway.
It's over. Take me home.
But she stopped in the middle of the road, told him to get out and walk. So he did. Another chick move. This is where their stories diverge. He says as he was crossing in front of her car, their eyes locked. And that seemed to set the girlfriend off, according to him. He says Veronica floored it, causing him to fly over the hood and slam into her windshield.
What was her last name?
Gast.
Oh, she gassed it.
Yeah.
Gaslighting.
The boyfriend ended up with a minor cut on his right elbow. She ended up with a cracked windshield. He says the windshield crack happened when she hit him. And she says it happened when he punched the windshield out of anger.
Either way, just call Safe Light, right?
They're going to get
Safe
back together.
Safe Light repairs, Safe Light something.
Yeah.
Definition of a toxic relationship.
They're going to get back together.
She says that she did hit him, but that it was accidental.
I mean, the makeup sex isn't going to be great if you got hit by a car. So.
Eventually, she admitted that she did do it on purpose. She's facing second-degree assault charges. And I guess it says here the relationship is over, but I've seen people come back.
I think they still have a chance, bro.
I do too.
Check their Facebook. They're definitely back together.
They had been dating for about a year.
They'll post something stupid like, "We're not perfect, but nobody is. I love him so much."
Trying to better ourselves every day.
Yeah.
Our next story comes from Virginia. A guy lost control of his car, crashed into somebody's house. He offered the homeowner $50,000 not to call the cops.
Oh,
A woman in Virginia was jolted awake in the middle of the night last Friday when a car crashed into her home. She said at first she thought it was a tornado. Police say a 2017 yellow Dodge Charger veered off the road at a high rate of speed, possibly over 100 miles an hour. It hit a fence, careened across a yard, ripped through an above-ground pool, and slammed into a deck.
Oh.
The homeowner said she confronted the driver, and when she did so, the driver offered her $50,000 if she just let it go without calling the police.
I feel like the damages would be more than $50,000 though in today's economy. Doesn't seem like a good deal.
Here's what the homeowner said. He offered me lots of money and said his dad was a millionaire. And I was like, no, I'm calling the police.
She's white.
The driver... What do you say? If she wasn't white, she definitely would have at least considered taking the 50
cash.
grand. Yeah.
No, she's white. She called the police for sure. Name might have been Karen. I don't know.
She could have taken the cash, then made the insurance claim.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
When she
That's Socorro right there, dude.
when she turned down the offer, that's when the driver ran off, abandoning the car on her property. Police have identified the suspect. It's unclear if his father's actually a millionaire. Doesn't sound like anybody was hurt.
Lucky dude.
All right, another story. A guy says he was fired from the real-life Conjuring house because a ghost told the owner that he was stealing. I don't know if you remember the story of The Conjuring, or the haunted basement. I guess that's based on a supposedly true story. There's a real house that's open to the public, and people can go tour the real Conjuring house.
Ghosts who snitch. Who knew that was a great home security system?
Yeah.
The house is in Burrillville, Rhode Island. It is open to visitors. A man named Brian Dansereau had been working there. He was abruptly fired last month. The owner of the Conjuring house is named Jacqueline Nunez. She claims that the ghost of a man named John Arnold told her that Brian, her employee, had stolen $3,000 from the cash box.
Snitches, John Arnold.
The owner, Nunez, is not denying it. Quote, I and every person is entitled to experiences that bring understanding and meaning into our lives, including being informed or warned about wicked actors and actions. It sounds like the Labor Relations Bureau might have a different view of that sort of thing.
I feel like
I don't know if you could fire somebody because a ghost said they were stealing.
I feel like she lost the $3,000 and is just blaming it on him. Like, no, it was a ghost.
Let's have a seance and talk to him, okay? Let's actually get the story.
That is wild.
Brian, the fired employee, denies he stole anything. And he believes that the guy, so the ghost is supposed to be of a previous owner named John Arnold. He believes John Arnold's ghost haunts the house, but doesn't believe he would do him like that.
He wouldn't do me dirty.
Yeah, it's not John. You don't know John.
Here's a quote from the guy who got fired. For a spirit to go after a staff member in that manner, I've never heard of such a thing at any haunted venue, let alone the Conjuring house.
Oh, John Arnold.
And there's a judge who has been temporarily suspended while he undergoes training. He handcuffed a student who was there on a field trip in his courtroom because she fell asleep. A judge in Detroit put a 15-year-old girl in handcuffs and threatened her with jail time after she fell asleep in court during a field trip.
Jeez.
I've been to jury duty. There are
It's
people
boring.
sleeping.
You can fall asleep.
He said he wanted to teach her a lesson, but he's officially been taken off the bench while undergoing training. Here's Judge Kenneth King First of all, interacting with the 15-year-old, and then talking about why he threatened her with jail.
You fall asleep in my courtroom one more time and put you in the back, understood? That's not something that normally happens, but I felt compelled to do it because I didn't like the child's attitude. I haven't been disrespected like that in a very long time. I'm going to go to sleep tonight while you're sitting in the juvenile detention facility. Was I really going to do that? Probably not. Could I have? Probably so. But that's not what I want to do to a kid who's there on a field trip. So that was my own version of scared straight.
Stupid. I'm a dog. I'm a dog, Judge.
Did they have those Scared Straight shows when you were a kid?
Oh, yeah.
They put you in there, and those guys are like in your face, yelling, and spit's getting on you, and they're telling you how they're going to sexually get you.
Yeah. Making you grab their pocket and saying you're their female dog that we can't say on radio. But you get it.
The girl's mother says that they have recently experienced homelessness and that she was very tired because they'd had difficulty finding a place to sleep the night before the field trip.
I hope they sue the now who's the
judge and win.
And that is your true crime report.
I deal in crime and that kind of thing.
I owe my life of crime to the fact that I was a dropout.
Just last week, a guy pulled a knife on me. I could see it wasn't a real professional job. There was butter on it.
I can get away with it. Like the crime of the century.
Crime of the century.
What was the man's crime?
And his daring life of crime made him a legend in his time, east and west of the Rio Grande.
I'm Daniel Paulus, and whether you're wrapping up your workday on
95.5 KLAQ, Black Hole Sun from Soundgarden on the morning show. Coming up later on the show, Moon Unit Zappa, the oldest daughter, the oldest child of Frank Zappa. And she was on a hit recording that her father had in 1982 called Valley Girl. And she's written a memoir. She was really like the hippest kid. All her and her brother Dweezil.
Dweezil.
Yeah, they had weird names, okay?
All right.
So it was Moon Unit.
No judgment.
Dweezil. Ahmet, which almost sounds like perfectly normal compared
That
to
one
the other
sounds
name.
normal, yeah.
And Diva.
Diva.
Those are the four kids of Frank Zappa. That recording called Valley Girl, which Frank Zappa wrote after he heard his daughter talking to her friends in this valley speak. Oh my God, like that.
Like, oh my God.
He just had her talk as if she were talking to her friends, and this was a big hit song in 1982.
It was like freaking me out. He called me a beastie. That's just like he's totally blitzed. He goes like, bag your face, I'm sure.
And Moon Unit Zappa has a memoir called Earth to Moon, all about her very unconventional upbringing.
How cool.
And we're going to talk to her coming up in about an hour. Let's let everyone know what the ghost song of the day is going to be today.
Okay.
And I'll let you know what hour it's going to be played in. So for Monday, August 19th, it's going to be in the 3 o'clock hour this afternoon, sometime between 3 and 4 p.m. Now, when you hear this song played, if you're caller number 13, you're going to win the daily prize, which is the Ghost movie soundtrack from their movie Right Here, Right Now. You win the soundtrack, but then all of our daily winners are qualified at the end. We're going to do a drawing. I think we have 22 daily winners in the month of August. So that means you have a 1 in 22 chance of winning our grand prize, an autographed guitar signed by Papa Emeritus, a.k.a. Tobias Forge of Ghost.
Papa.
And the song in the 3 o'clock hour this afternoon is going to be "Call Me Little Sunshine." Joanna, not everybody's as big a Ghost. In fact, few people are as big a fan of Ghost as you are.
Yeah.
So maybe play a little bit of "Call Me Little Sunshine" so everybody knows what it sounds like.
Yeah, sure.
the 3 o'clock hour today. When you hear that, jump on the phone lines, call our studio. It's 915-910-4995. That's 915-910-4995. Be a daily prize winner, and you could be the grand prize winner. It's a Phantoman autographed guitar by Tobias Forge from Hagstrom. The guitar and the case it comes in are over a $2,000 value. That's without the autograph from Tobias Forge. So, and we also have tickets every morning this week for Lamb of God and Mastodon. That show goes down this Sunday at the El Paso County Coliseum. Special guest Kerry King of Slayer and Malevolence. So a big 4-band bill that's all going to be going down less than a week Sunday at the El Paso County Coliseum. I had a couple of neckline calls that have been coming in.
Sure.
You can feel free if you got a question. I can't stress this enough. You could pretty much ask us anything, and we'll try and give you an answer.
For sure.
Buzz, good morning. I want to ask you a question. Since you lived in a farm, and I don't know why I got this I guess I was seeing some cows on YouTube, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Cows, is there two different kind of cows? Like cows only used for milk all their life and never be butchered? Or is it like only some other cows that are used for meat? Are bulls used for meat too? Or I just kind of a little curious about that, because I know there's the black and white cows. You always see them like producing milk, and then you see like the dark cows. I guess. Joanna, I just want to let you know. I know the answer to that.
You do? Oh my God.
Most out in the field, I guess, I don't know, they're used for mainly meat.
Okay.
So since you know more about that, can you give us a little knowledge on that?
Absolutely.
Wow. Right. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Guys, have a good morning. Thank you.
I guess, we mean it if you have a question.
Usually,
we could answer it.
Cows are mammals, so any female cow has the ability to produce milk, but that's usually kept to my knowledge, a handful of breeds of cow. Guernsey, Jersey's the one, Holstein. Those come to mind. And you kind of pick out, unless you live on a big dairy farm operation, which we didn't, where that's, when you drive up to Vado, those are dairy farms.
For sure, yeah.
All of those cows, well, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them are for producing milk. And you pick out your best milker. You just kind of identify the... Well, it's true. You can find a cow that produces the most milk, and we would go out and milk the cows in the morning and drink it just like that, not pasteurized or anything, Joanna.
But chilled? Or just like that?
Oh, you could drink. You could drink it just like that, but sure, you put it in bottles. The most we ever had was one milk cow at a time, which pretty much took care of all of our milk needs.
And did your cow have a name?
Just Bossy. I think just Bossy.
Cute.
I think that's what all milk cows are named.
Bossy.
And then there's all kinds of different cattle you raise for meat. Those could be Herefords. Those could be any of the other ones that I mentioned.
Wow. Learning about cows this morning.
Learning about cows and milk cows. The Democratic National Convention gets underway in just a few hours from Chicago, and I wanted to tell you a couple of things. The situation has really changed in just 1 month. From the beginning of the Olympics to the end of the Olympics, it's a totally different candidate. Kamala Harris. So tonight, Joe Biden is going to speak on the first night of the DNC. The original plan was that he would speak on the last night when he would accept the Democratic nomination for president. But that has all been flipped upside down. So he's going to open up, along with a lot of other speakers from Chicago, beginning in just a few hours. Planned Parenthood is offering more than just a free sticker or T-shirt
Okay.
They're going to have a presence at the Democratic National Convention. The organization says that while they are at the DNC, and they're setting up right now, they will offer free vasectomies, medicated abortion, and emergency contraception.
Wow.
Planned Parenthood announced in an X post that a bus drove from St. Louis to Chicago to offer free services to people while they're at the DNC.
Wow.
Planned Parenthood noted that there is a waiting list for vasectomies during their time at the convention.
Really?
Wait a minute. You've already had enough people sign up to get a snip job?
Yeah, they're
done?
like, hit us with it. For free?
Apparently, they're doing it for free.
Wow.
We currently have a wait list for free vasectomies, a follow-up post on X. Repost to spread the word. Since the reversal of Roe v. Wade a couple of years ago and Vice President Kamala Harris stepping in to replace President Biden, the Democratic Party has doubled down on their rhetoric about a woman's right to choose. So,
yes.
I don't know who the people are that have already signed up for the vasectomies, but that seems like it'd be really uncomfortable thing to then have to sit there and listen to all those speakers when you just
got snipped.
When you just got snipped. That's right.
They're like, I'm just here for the free vasectomy.
It looks like the Democrats are going all in on the abortion battle and the right to choose.
Hi, folks. It's President Biden, the still president. And I hope you're ready for a fun time at the Democratic National Convention with the thing going on this week, man. And all week, we're happy to introduce the DNC Fertility Clinic. Yeah, we're going to help you with the thing, man. You know what I'm talking about. Yep, DNC stands for Do Not Conceive, as in babies. Nobody's going to have the babies, right, Kamala? Yeah, man, she says yes. We're going to do the snip for the fellas, but for the ladies that because no babies. We don't want everybody to have lots of babies because they cry a lot in restaurants and they smell with the diapers, man. Or just listen to Bill Clinton tell you more about it.
Wow, I sure do wish we had this DNC fertility clinic when I was president. Oh man, it would have gotten me out of a few jams.
Yeah, man, the DNC Fertility Clinic. Come visit all week at the convention with the Democrats and the thing, man. Okay, Kamala, we get it. See you soon, man.
It's the Hollywood Cheese Man. It's the Hollywood Cheese Man. Joanna, tell us more.
Here is Joanna Barbo with our look at entertainment, the Hollywood Cheese Man. Good morning, Joanna.
Good morning. Halle Berry revealed in a recent interview with comicbook.com while promoting her upcoming Netflix movie, The Union, that she was never asked by Ryan Reynolds to return to her X-Men movie role of Storm for Deadpool and Wolverine. The record-breaking Marvel blockbuster featured the surprise returns of several heroes from Fox's Marvel era, but she also said that it was actually his wife, Blake Lively, who had asked her if she would return as Storm. She said, quote, Blake asked me one time, I ran into her at a Marc Jacobs fashion show, and she said, would you ever be in my husband's movie as Storm? I said, yeah, if he asked me, but he never asked me. Berry played Storm opposite Hugh Jackman's Wolverine in 4 X-Men movies, and a couple of characters from those movies popped up in Deadpool and Wolverine. The film's director, Sean Levy, previously had said that Barry was never discussed, nor was Patrick Stewart's Charles Xavier was never considered or discussed during development for a cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine.
They had plenty of cameos.
They had a lot, yeah.
Now that we can talk about Deadpool, Wolverine, I won't give out of control spoilers, but there are enough cameos for everybody.
Oh, yeah. There was enough. The slapstick-loving minions from Despicable Me have helped power the franchise to $5.4 billion and counting at worldwide box office, making it the highest-grossing animated series in history. Chris Renaud, who directed the first 2 Despicable Me films and returned this year for the 4th sequel, recently spoke to Filmhounds magazine and was asked about Disney's trend of turning its animated classics into live-action movies, and would he ever want to to see the Minions jump to that format. His answer, and I quote, "God, I hope not."
Right. Would you make them look like people, or would they still look like
Would
little...
they be still animated and everything around them be not animated? Renaud continued by saying, quote, "If there were conversations like that, I haven't been privy to them. But for me, what defines the world is that it is animated and it allows us to get away with what we get away with, like locking a minion in the vending machine. These are really cartoon ideas, like what would have been in a Bugs Bunny cartoon." Pixar's chief creative officer, Pete Docter, also recently shot down the idea of turning Pixar movies into live-action films. Earlier this year, Elvis Presley's Graceland was seemingly going to fall out of the Presleys' hands. At the time, it was alleged that Lisa Marie Presley had put up the historic site as collateral for a loan she failed to repay before she passed away. Those claims, however, were found to be very, very shaky. Now, federal prosecutors have accused Lisa Janine Finley of trying to conduct a fraudulent sale of Graceland by claiming the historic site was collateral for the bad loan. She reportedly has a long history of small-time scams and fraud. Now, Finley is facing prison time up to 20 years for mail fraud and a mandatory minimum of 2 years for aggravated identity theft. She made her first court appearance on Friday and allegedly wrote an explanation to the court, the Presley family, and media, claiming that the true perpetrator in the Graceland plot is an identity thief based in Nigeria.
A Nigerian prince.
A Nigerian prince, one might say.
A prince was trying to steal from the king.
Yeah, that is what she is saying. And finally, a news that surprises no one. Kevin Costner's period Western Horizon An American Saga Chapter 1 now has a streaming date. The first chapter in the former Yellowstone Stars film saga will release on Max this coming Friday. Following the film's disappointment at the box office, Chapter 1, which runs for 3 hours and 1 minute, opened to just $11 million over the June 28th through the 30th weekend.
This is one of those where I'm going to have to watch it, because everybody said it was a disaster and lost money, and I haven't heard anybody say if it's a good movie or not.
That's a good point. Everyone's just saying
that
how
it lost a lot of money.
Yeah, but nobody's actually given me a review.
Sometimes when I hear these movies and the whole story is that they're bad or didn't live up to expectations or whatever, sometimes I'm pleasantly surprised.
Well, Costner's Territory Pictures and distribution partner New Line Cinema had decided to pause on releasing Horizon Chapter 2. The second installment was pulled from a planned August 16th theater release. That was this past Friday. They wanted to give audiences the opportunity to discover the first installment on PVOD and on Max. So you can now check that out this coming Friday, Buzz. With your entertainment news, I'm Joanna Barba.
Let's take a break. We've got some more calls that are coming in on the neckline. You can call, leave a message for us that we'll get pretty much instantaneously on the neckline. That number is 844-805-NECK, 844-805-6325, or call us in the studio, 915-910-4995. That's 915-910-4995. And keep that number handy because we still have those tickets for Lamb of God to give away for the concert Sunday at the County Coliseum.
Artist interviews, new music discoveries, celebrating artists' birthdays, commemorating releases.
Champion of all things rock.
Wabba
101. 4151 North Mesa. Next to the Mesa Inn. 101 APTX on Instagram. Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vias, and Inderman Personal Injury Lawyers.
At GVILaw.com.
For everybody who is wondering where Nico is.
Oh, did you get a hold of him?
Never.
No?
No.
Oh, no.
Your guess is as good as mine. I assume he somehow overslept, even with the amazing alarm clock technology that we have available to us in 2024. Anyway, not get an answer.
Yikes.
So can you fill in for the news today?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can do that, I guess.
All right, coming up later on the show, Moon Unit Zappa, who's written about her experiences growing up in a house where there were basically no rules because her father was Frank Zappa and he was very avant-garde. And she's going to be joining us to talk about her memoir, Earth to Moon, coming up in about 45 minutes is when we're going to have her. We've got plenty of phone calls coming in on the neckline. So let me grab a couple of those real quick.
Morning, Buzz. Hey, Buzz. It just came in on the ticker. Phil Donahue passed away, 88 years old just now. Pretty much the inventor of the daytime talk show as we know it today. Have a great day. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Yeah, Phil Donahue was kind of like the biggest game in town in the 70s before Oprah or Jerry Springer. Phil Donahue used to have KKK grandmasters and neo-Nazis on. And can you picture Phil Donahue?
White guy? White hair.
Yeah, white hair.
Glasses. Yeah.
Yeah, you know who Phil Donahue is.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Do you want to hear?
R.I.P.
Do you want to hear the time that he got in a fight with Bill O'Reilly over the Iraq War?
Hell yeah.
At this point, Phil Donahue kind of retired, like in the early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And he was married to Marlo Thomas, did a lot of charity work through the Danny Thomas Foundation. Here's Bill O'Reilly threatening to kick Phil Donahue out of his studio.
Now listen. You wouldn't send your children to this war, Bill.
My nephew
Nobody.
Just enlisted in the Army. You
Your
don't know
nephew.
what the hell you're talking
very good.
about.
Very good. Congratulations.
Yeah, and he's a patriot, so don't denigrate his service or I'll boot you right off the set.
I'm not.
That boy made a decision to serve his country. Do not denigrate him or you're out of here.
I'm not Jeremy Glick, Billy.
That's
You
right.
can't
A little bit more
intimidate me.
intelligence than
I'm not somebody you can come and just spew
Don't tell me I wouldn't send my kids.
Loud doesn't mean
my
right.
nephew just enlisted. You don't know what you're talking about.
Your nephew is not your kid. You
He's
are
my
like
blood.
You are part of a loud group of people who want to prove they're tough and send other people's kids to war to make the case.
You have no clue about how to fight a war on terror or how to defend your country. You are clueless. So is Miss Sheehan. And for Miss Sheehan to say that the insurgents have a right to kill Americans and you're shaking her hand, you ought to just walk away.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, Phil Donahue was 88 years old. He had that white hair back in the 70s, man. He must have had that white hair from the time he was an adolescent.
Good morning, Buzz. Hey, last week, J.D. Vance used the Marine Corps slogan of Semper Fi to define Donald Trump. And I challenge any Marine that's out there to defend that, because there has never been anybody that is less honorable and less and less courageous than Donald Trump when it comes to military service. The only thing that Donald Trump is loyal to and always faithful to is himself.
I had not heard that, but, you know, I think part of the reason Trump picked J.D. Vance is because he has a military background.
Mm-hmm.
He joined the Marines, went to Iraq.
Hey, Buzz, I did see that Horizon movie on the Fire Stick.
Oh,
This is the Kevin Costner movie, and it's going to be out on Max on
the
starting
Fire
Friday.
Stick.
I guess it's on the Fire Stick, too.
On, well, doesn't matter. It sucks.
Oh, no.
If Kevin Costner left Yellowstone to go do that Horizon movie, I'm going to tell you right now, he should have just stayed doing Yellowstone, because that movie sucked. It's hard to follow. It's the action sequences are way too long. They carry on way too long. They overdo it with the violence. The Native Americans being violent to the settlers, they overdo it with that too.
the plot's all over the place. They do time jumps in real time, but then you can't tell who's who. It's just hard to follow, man. And I'm gonna be straight up. That movie sucks. It sucks. I could only get through the first hour of it, and we weren't even halfway through the plot. You know, it's terrible, man. It's terrible, terrible.
All right, I'll give it a shot anyway.
Hey, good morning, guys. You know what? I was just catching up on Friday's show, and I just remembered something on Elvis's death. So this is how someone explained it to me. So since Elvis was so backed up and constipated because of his drugs, he was pushing so hard that he triggered his myocardial arrhythmia.
Hey, we're not just randomly talking about Elvis dying. Friday was like the anniversary of Elvis's death, and we were talking about how, well, he was on all kinds of drugs because Tom Hanks made him take them. I mean, Colonel Parker.
Yeah, that Colonel Parker.
Did you ever see that movie?
I did, yeah.
Did you think it was good?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Colonel Parker was definitely the villain of that story.
No, for sure. Right? Yeah, it was definitely a movie about how terrible that guy was.
So Elvis was only 42, and he was on the toilet, reportedly, and that's what the call's about here.
I think which somebody called the Valsalva maneuver. So it's like, I guess you push so hard, like almost like trying to pop your ears to the point where when you get tired, you start relaxing everything, and then you relax too much, and there you go, the arrhythmia. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.
Okay. They have a bunch of the. You had an Elvis story in the Hollywood Cheese
Yes,
Man,
about Graceland.
Yeah. They really make a big deal out of the week he died.
Yeah, and how it all leads up to it.
Yeah. We got some audio, by the way. If you've never heard this, it might shed a little bit of light on things.
Oh man. I'm kind of backed up here on this toilet, man. Must be all those peanut butter nana and Quaalude sandwiches I've been eating. Hey, I got an idea. Maybe I'll shake my hips. Ain't nothing but a bowel movement.
Oh, God.
Let me give it one last push. I think I just crapped a coronary, man. Everything's fading to black. Lights are going out.
All right, Moon Unit Zappa, daughter of Frank Zappa, is going to be on to talk about her memoir. Even if you had a weird childhood, your childhood was not as weird as Frank Zappa's kids. I've read about half of the book already.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, that's good. We'll take a break. Since Nico is MIA, Joanna will have news headlines coming up for us in just a moment.
Yes, I will. We're going to come back with that.
Music news, concert updates, song and album factoids, and of course, nothing but El Paso's best rock.
Began 2 hours ago to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5 to 10. KLAQ and KLAQ HD1, El Paso, a town square media station.
Okay, let's hit it.
All right, Joanna is standing by to bring us the news later this hour. Moon Unit Zappa is going to join us, and she's written a memoir about growing up in a crazy rock star, avant-garde household. And it ain't all great, let me tell you. Her memoir is called Earth to Moon. I want to let you know about this contest that we're just starting today. It's a cruise with Chris Jericho. It's the Rock and Wrestling Cruise. And we're going to give code words out starting today in the 10 a.m. hour, the 2 p.m. hour, 5 p.m., and 8 p.m. hour. You can find all the rules and details at KLAQ.com, but it's a 4-night cruise. It takes off the end of January and goes from Florida to the Dominican Republic. Chris Jericho is going to be on board with his band Fozzy. He's bringing a lot of his wrestling friends. There are going to be live wrestling shows on board the Norwegian Gem. You could be the winner of the prize. Just listen for those code words. If you want more details and information, go to KLAQ.com and look for the Jericho Cruise information, also on the KLAQ mobile app. All right, Joanna is going to do the news in place of Nico today, so let's go ahead and get things started with news headlines. There you go.
Wake up, fool! Wow!
Today is Monday.
TGIM.
And here is Joanna Barber with today's top stories. Good morning, Joanna.
Good morning. The 2024 Democratic National Convention kicks off today in Chicago with a lineup of speakers made up of the all-stars of the Democratic Party. Tonight, President Joe Biden, First Lady Jill Biden, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, and Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson are expected to hit the stage. This week's guests will also include the Obamas, Bill Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, VP nominee Tim Walz, who is expected to deliver his acceptance speech, and on Thursday, Vice President Harris will accept the Democratic nomination for president. But it's not all positive for the convention this week. Protests started in Chicago yesterday in the area where the convention will be held, with some protesters at the Bodies Outside of Unjust Laws March carrying signs labeling President Joe Biden an international terrorist. Pro-Palestinian protesters are also demonstrating this week in Chicago, calling for an end to the Israel-Hamas war. The Uncommitted National Movement, who supported voting uncommitted instead of casting ballots for Biden, announced last night on X that it'll be holding a DNC-sanctioned panel on Palestinian human rights today. Former Republican Representative George Santos is expected to plead guilty today to federal charges relating to fraudulent activity in his 2022 House campaign, according to sources familiar with the deal, just weeks before his federal trial is set to begin. The expected plea would mark the end to a nearly 2-year saga that saw Santos lie about his resume as he sought election to New York's 3rd congressional district. He won the seat, but was ultimately charged with 23 federal counts and was dramatically expelled from Congress last year.
Everything about this guy was done dramatically.
So dramatic. He is living for the drama, though, I'm telling you. Santos, who previously pleaded not guilty to all 23 charges, is set for a pre-trial conference today in front of U.S. District Judge Joanna Sabert in the Eastern District of New York. The recalls continue to flood in, but this time it's not because of bacteria. Purdue Foods is recalling over 167,000 pounds of frozen chicken nuggets and tenders because some people have reported finding metal wire in the packages. The company released a statement saying the wire was determined to be a very thin strand of a metal wire that was inadvertently introduced into the manufacturing process. The recall covers certain lots of Purdue breaded chicken tenders, Butcher Box Organics chicken breast nuggets, and Purdue Simply Smart Organics breaded chicken breast nuggets. You get any of those nuggets?
I don't know.
You don't know. You gotta check.
Does it say Purdue in big letters, or is it under some other brand name?
No, it says Purdue.
I think I'm okay. We eat a lot of chicken nuggets at my house.
You do?
Well, my daughters do.
All right. Well, make sure they're not these Purdue ones.
All right.
Your laptop, your phone, even your gaming console, everyone knows that they are all targeted by hackers. But what about your bicycle? Research by Northeastern University and UC San Diego revealed last week that certain brands of bike parts could be remotely compromised during competitions. One example, they said, involves wireless gear shifting systems like the ones sold by the Japanese company Shimano. Researchers say that they're vulnerable to replay attacks like the ones used on car fobs. Serious bikers will have to watch out for hacking attempts, of course, but just a stick in the spokes could be a problem too. So it seems that riding your bike is flooded with potential problems now. You can't even ride your bike anymore, Buzz.
What are they going to do to your bike?
they're going to compromise it, attack it. So I guess some of these kind of have like those, like you can connect it to Bluetooth and stuff. And
Your bike
yeah.
connected to Bluetooth,
or it connects to something, right?
huh? Why?
I don't know, actually. I guess this would technically be only for like serious bikers. That would not be you or I.
We're talking bicycles, not motorcycles.
Bicycles,
right? Huh.
yes. They've gone very fancy. When was the last time you rode a bike?
I ride my bike. I've been sick a couple of weeks, so it's been a couple of weeks, but I ride my bike pretty frequently.
You do?
Yeah, of course I do.
Oh, good for you. Getting some exercise.
Have you ever
That's
seen
good
my
for
bike?
you. No, I have not.
It's an electric bike. It's the one I
your
knocked my
electric
teeth
bike.
out with.
You still
and
have it?
it's electric, but it's not connected to a Bluetooth or anything.
Do you wear a helmet?
No.
Buzz Adams, wear a helmet.
Okay. I just want to say, and I want this to go on the record, that accident that I had, even if I had a bicycle helmet on, I went teeth first
It's about
into
to
a
be
brick
the
post.
anniversary. We're in August.
Oh, God.
It's happened.
The deadliest month for Buzz Adams.
The deadliest.
All of my worst physical calamities have befallen me in the month of August.
Yeah, we got to put you in a bubble right now.
Well, I mean, I had freaking chicken pox or something
That's
this month.
right. You see,
Does that count as a hit?
I'm going to count it as a hit, yeah. It has been 0 years since Buzz has had an August accident.
The way, I mean, my teeth smashed. They were the first thing to hit this post. So a bicycle helmet doesn't have any kind of face mask. It would not have even helped. And you know what?
I guess that kind of makes sense.
And I do my best to stay off of roads where it's even remotely possible I could get hit, because I got to be honest with you, when people are in their cars, and I'm probably as guilty as anybody else, they kind of don't pay attention to anything other than other cars. You know what I mean? You really have to keep your eyes open if somebody's walking down the street or riding their bike. So I try and stay in areas where there are not a lot of vehicle traffic. But
you're all mindful about it now. You're like, I can't go there. But
the accident happened in my driveway.
Right in your
Like
driveway, Buzz. Oh, God. I guess, yeah, you're right. The helmet wouldn't have helped your
If I'd
teeth.
had a football helmet on, that might have done something. But bicycle
protecting your teeth.
bicycle helmet would not have done anything.
But still, an important message to everyone out there. Wear a helmet.
Sure.
When you're riding your bike, Buzz Adams.
If you don't mind looking like a giant doofus, go ahead and wear a helmet.
You don't look like a doofus. You look like someone who takes safety seriously.
Now, do you have elbow pads and knee pads on too?
You should, probably. Especially as you get older.
Those spandex pants, do I need to be wearing those? Because I just go out in like sweatpants or shorts.
Oh, Buzz. El Paso City Council is set to conduct final interviews today with the 4 finalists for the city manager position, with a decision potentially being announced by the end of the day. The interviews will take place during the council's executive season. This is the last step in a selection process that began in March of 2023. The process has faced criticism in recent weeks, with some community members expressing concerns. Committee member Cindy Conroy told ABC7 that she believes the process was rushed. And in a press conference last week, Mayor Oscar Leeser addressed what he calls misconception and misinformation. Over the last year, the city has also conducted multiple meetings to inform residents and gather their input, including recent meet and greets with the finalists. The 4 candidates being considered for the role are all current city employees. Robert Cortinas is Chief Financial Officer and Deputy City Manager for Internal Services. Mario D'Agostino is Deputy City Manager for Public Health and Safety, overseeing police, fire, and public health departments. Nicole Farini is Director of Community and Human Development, focusing on housing affordability and homelessness. And Dion Mack, Deputy City Manager for Quality of Life, managing museums, libraries, and parks. Lisa says they're hoping to announce their decision later today, and that this new city manager is set to start on September 3rd. And finally, the Gene Roddenberry Planetarium has a new location, new look, and some new benefits.
By the way, Gene Roddenberry.
Yes.
Big El Paso connection there.
Yes, of course. That's why we named the planetarium after him.
Today is his birth anniversary, too.
It is?
It sure is.
Wow.
Gene Roddenberry was born, well, he'd be 103 today.
Wow.
He was born in 1921 and created Star Trek. I don't remember exactly what he lived in El Paso or spent time maybe in the Army in El Paso.
I think born maybe.
Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, we have a Gene Roddenberry museum because of that.
The planetarium.
The planetarium.
Starting in September, the planetarium will designate one Saturday a month for the public to visit, and it is completely free. A schedule for which Saturday will be open to the public has not been released yet, but Daniel Vasquez, Fund Development and Education Foundation Officer for El Paso ISD, says that because the galaxy is so different and there are so many different times of the year, they have to customize a schedule, and told KVIA, quote, there could be occurrences that take place in space or take place in the sky, so our planetarium staff will monitor that, and they'll do specialized programming and specialized events. Evelyn Maldonado, planetarium coordinator, is a former science teacher and says that role played a major factor in her thought process when it comes to the best way students will retain information. And with your news, I'm Joanna Barba.
All right. Thank you, Joanna.
You're welcome.
Archaeologists using AI have decoded a 4,000-year-old ancient Babylonian tablet.
I was going to say we never got to the tablet the other day. It was a weird week last week.
The newly deciphered text published in and I am not making this up, this is the name of the publication, the Journal of Cuneiform Studies.
Cuneiform?
Yes. Reveals that the ancient Babylonians believed lunar eclipses were omens predicting death and destruction.
Oh, my.
So using AI, they discovered this writing that hadn't been read by anybody in 4,000 years. The text is the oldest archaeological record of lunar eclipse omens and shows how ancient astrologers made predictions about disasters.
We're doomed.
One of the tablet's notes, quote, an eclipse in the morning watch means the end of a dynasty.
What?
I assume they're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs there. One ominous prediction says if an eclipse becomes obscured from its center all at once and clear all at once, a king will die. Destruction of Elam. Another one reads, an eclipse in the evening watch signifies pestilence. If an eclipse is the wrong way around, nothing will be spared. The deluge will occur everywhere. It is unclear what the writer meant by wrong way around.
There's deluge everywhere.
But researchers suspect this refers to a scenario in which the moon's disk is said to be facing the opposite direction from that expected.
So we're doomed.
Well, I don't know. They wrote it 4,000 years ago, and we're still around. And I would say we probably have a better life than ancient Babylonians.
They're like, you're going to be in the darkest timeline.
Maybe.
And now, exclusive 4,000-year-old audio of Babylonians chiseling their predictions onto stone tablets.
Heed my warnings. Crazy times are ahead. There will be a man who hosts a game show, and he will have strange hair and will one day be supreme leader of a land called the United States. And I'm seeing a man, an actor named Tom Cruise, and he will rappel from a rooftop at the Olympics and ride a motorcycle, and there will be a great plague, and a guy named Fauci will say, wear a mask. Then he will say, do not wear a mask. And then he will say, wear a mask. And everybody will be like, oh, come on, bro, pick a lane. And there will be a man named Elon who will make a weird-looking truck called a Cybertruck, and it will be quite lame. Dark, crazy days are upon us, my dudes.
This has been exclusive 4,000-year-old audio of Babylonians chiseling their predictions onto stone tablets.
Hey, it's Double G. Coming up after the Buzz Adams Morning Show.
Requires eligible plan, speed, coverage, and other restrictions apply. Visit att.com/one network for details.
Originating in El Paso, for El Paso, the Buzz Adams Morning Show, 95.5 KLAQ.
Mr. Boo-Boo. We're talking Lord God, King
That is Valley Girl, done by Frank Zappa and his daughter, Moon Unit Zappa. And we're going to be talking to Moon about her memoir called Earth to Moon. That's coming up here in just a few minutes. I got some quick business we need to take care of. We need to let you know what the ghost song of the day is. I've got these tickets for the Lamb of God Mastodon show on Sunday at the County Coliseum. I want to give those away right here. And something new from the There I Ruined It guys. They have effed around with the theme song to Reading Rainbow, Joanna, and I figured you'd appreciate it. Let's start. Let's go in order. Let's go with the ghost song of the day.
All right.
Remember, listen for this song. We're going to tell you what hour it's going to be played in. Every time you hear the ghost song of the day, there's a different one each day. If you're the 13th caller, you win the preliminary daily prize, which is a copy of Ghost and their motion picture soundtrack for Right Here, Right Now. But you're qualified for a signed guitar. It's a Phantom guitar by Hagstrom. Comes in the Hag case, over $2,000 value, plus signed by Tobias Forge of Ghost. So, Joanna, I believe we're looking at the 3 o'clock hour today.
Yes, we are.
What ghost song do people need to be listening for as the cue to call in?
Today's ghost song of the day is Call Me Little Sunshine.
All right, let's hear a little Call Me Little Sunshine from Ghost. Derek wrote earlier, I don't have it in front of me, but he said, Ghost is a wine mom rock.
Hell yeah. That's a good way of describing it.
What does it mean?
I don't know, but I like the description. Wine mom.
That's the 3 o'clock hour. Be 13th caller on the studio line when you hear that song between 3 and 4 o'clock this afternoon. And a reminder, the studio line number is 915-910-4995. That's 910-4995. We've got a contest starting today. Get on board Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea. It's a 4-night cruise. And if you're the winner, you go on it along with Chris Jericho, his band Fozzy, and a bunch of his wrestling and rock friends. There's going to be wrestling and rock shows on board the ship. Let me give you just a few more details about this. Tickets include a double occupancy cabin on the Norwegian Gem on a 4-night cruise from Miami to Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic. All meals are included. Admission to wrestling matches, concerts. They're going to have podcast sessions. How are we not going on this? Meet and greet with Chris Jericho. Also, as part of the prize package, you get a $1,000 travel voucher plus $500 in spending money for souvenirs. To really see what this cruise event entails, you can check out ChrisJerichoCruise.com. That's ChrisJerichoCruise.com. We are giving out code words in the 10 a.m. hour starting today. That'll be the first one, just a couple hours away. Then in the 2 p.m., 5 p.m., and 8 p.m. hours, we are going to give you the code word, and then you enter that enter through the KLAQ mobile app, or you could use KLAQ.com. It's the Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea. Make sure I get the verbiage correct there. And it's brought to you by Hotel Indigo, downtown El Paso, where the ultimate staycation awaits you, 325 Kansas. It's Hotel Indigo. Call 915-532-5200. How about we give away some tickets for Lamb of God?
Yeah, let's do that.
There you go. Just kind of set the mood. Lamb of God is headlining along with Mastodon, special guest Kerry King of Slayer, and Malevolence. I hope the county coliseum is up to snuff for this kind of shit.
You know,
it's an
they've
old
held
building.
some really good rocking concerts. It'll hold up.
We're going to make it call in number 10, so use that studio line to win these tickets, 915-910-4995. That's 915-910-4995. And we're going to have Lamb of God tickets every morning, all week long, right up through Friday. Your chance to win on the Buzz Adams Morning Show. There's a group called There I Ruined It. And we've enjoyed some of what they've done before. So, Joanna, before you get the winner here.
Okay.
They have reimagined the theme song to Reading Rainbow with marijuana lyrics.
Okay.
And they call it Weeding Rainbow with a W.
Weeding
Rainbow. Well, here goes.
Butterfly in the sky, I must be really high. There's a dragon there, I'm a little scared. A reading rainbow. I can eat anything. Take a joke and blow some smoke. A reading rainbow. Reading rainbow. Reading rainbow.
All right, caller 10 for Lamb of God tickets. Moon Unit Zappa joins us in just a moment.
Find out what's going on, quirky facts about our region, urgent things you need to know impacting your drive, and of course, nothing but El Paso's best rock.
On select models. Rudolph Mazda. We're located at I-10 and Red Road.
Look, I get it. Going back to school might seem
Live from the KLAQ
but it's achievable when it's with WGU.
Morning Show, courtesy of Glasheen, Vias, and Enderman Personal Injury Lawyers at GVILaw.com.
So like I go into this like salon place, you know, and I want like to get my toenails done, and the lady like goes, "Oh my God, your toenails are like so grody." It was like really embarrassing. She's like, "Oh my God, like bag those toenails." I'm like, "Sure." She goes, "I don't know if I can handle this, you know." I was like, really.
Moon Unit Zappa had this hit song that they played on the radio all the time in like 1982. Hi, Moon. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you, Buzz?
Fantastic. And you and I are almost, like within a couple of weeks, we're almost exactly the same age. So,
oh, great. Let's have a birthday party.
Let's have a birthday party together and split the difference. So, Frank Zappa's daughter, Moon Unit Zappa, has written a memoir called Earth to Moon. And it's about growing up in, I guess, what I could only describe Moon as an extremely bohemian, avant-garde type of family situation.
Absolutely. I used to say that growing up with Frank was like having Jesus and Spock for a father, because he belonged to the world, but he was so literal and so focused, and just feelings were not part of the equation. And yet the music conjures so many feelings and is so expressive, and his guitar solos were so emotional, and that was really we all were in service to his big, wild, creative life.
Well, he was a genius. I mean, I don't think a lot of people can say that one of their parents was a genius, but I guess it comes with good and bad in that case.
Yeah, I mean, genius. Whenever I hear that term, I think, oh, whose back are they standing on to get there? Because geniuses do not have the ability.
Getting ready for back to school.
Hold on a second. Something came on there. My bad. Go ahead, Moon. I'm sorry. You were about to make a point about geniuses.
Just how that it really is a collaborative effort to make sure the genius can keep doing the genius things. And so in my book, I talk about is genius worth the collateral damage? Because there's always somebody who has to do all the things the genius doesn't want to do. And I grew up thinking, where's my turn to have everybody do everything so I can do my art? And it's a strange model.
Well, you describe an upbringing that was, I would say, chaotic and not altogether healthy. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, this is the one place where I guess there was some relatable normalcy in my family. We had some difficulties as a family, and even though that we were presented as kind of the wild version of the Kennedys or something, that's how Gail liked to see us. it was we could say as many F words as we wanted, but we couldn't talk about feelings, for example, the other F word. And that was very difficult as a highly emotional person. And also to be a girl, I got a lot of strange messages about what it means to be a girl and a woman. If your father's cheating a ton and you're seeing him greeting people by, pinching their nipples, it's you're thinking, what am I? What am I? Do I just go to the auction block now? How does this work when I leave this house?
Now, one of the things with all the weirdness and just kind of the unconventional nature of your upbringing, and Frank being such a big part of the counterculture, drugs and alcohol were not part of the mix growing up, though.
No, he was so absolutely dedicated to his expression being the purest expression. And he did not want anything to be an obstacle between him and his creativity. And his output was insane. And I mean, I think he had 100 albums in his lifetime in 52 years. And I have that work ethic, but I can only produce one thing every 5 years.
Now I've heard you refer to your folks who are both no longer with us as Frank and Gail. So that was a thing you might, a bohemian family anywhere might have some kind of rule where the kids can call the parents by the first name, but that's just scratching the surface of the unusualness.
Yeah, I mean, when your parents want to be known as Frank and Gail as themselves, they really treated us all like we were tiny adults, and they exposed us, in my opinion, to way too much, and it was a lot for my tiny nervous system. And then becoming a parent myself, I got to parent the way I didn't get parented, and to just do things as basic as a dinner at the table, or soup when someone's not feeling well, or a hug when you're sad. These kinds of things they just weren't available in a house that was just about servicing the creativity and having to hold that paradox of I'm so happy he's giving to the world, and I'm so envious that I don't matter more, or at least as much as everybody else. And that's how it felt growing up.
But when you did that song that was based on the way you would talk with your friends, at least that's the story I've heard, all of a sudden did you find out, well, I've got this in common with my dad, we're on this hit song together, and did that help things or make things worse?
Well, it was amazing, because the thing about it is I always wanted my father's attention. He always made you feel like you were the most important person in any room. And so I just craved his time, attention, humor. And I slid a note under his studio door, and I said, it seems like you like working a lot. Maybe we could work together. And this moment, he wakes me up on a school night, and this moment that is just a moment between the two of us becomes something that he puts on the album, and then becomes something beloved by the world. And that was a real shock, I think, to both of us. And ultimately, I learned, I mean, the best thing that came out of it is I learned early on that fame is a hollow pursuit. And to me, people that you love, that love you back, like that's exotic and the most amazing thing to me. And that's something that, I think I when you feel like a fish out of water, I think this in your home and in the world, this is a story for those people.
A couple of stories that I heard about Valley.
We got to wrap, unfortunately.
Oh, Michael, I'm sorry. We got Moon. I could talk to you for an hour. I wish I could. But, thanks anyway. It's Earth to Moon, which is the memoir about growing up in the Zappa household with all your famous siblings and your famous parents. Thank you, Moon, for being on with us today. Okay, looks like they were serious about that being a 7-minute interview. So I heard a couple different stories.
That was interesting.
I heard one that he just told her, say a bunch of stuff that you would say to your friends.
She makes me do the dishes and clean the cat box. I am sure that's gross.
And she would have been 14 when this was recorded, Joanne.
All right.
But then I'd also heard in an interview some years later that Moon said, well, I didn't have enough to fill a whole song, so I just made up some stuff. And I'm wondering, like the Valley Girls speak, like, gag me with a spoon. Was that a thing they actually said, or was that one she just made up?
She made up, and then it just caught on.
This was a big thing in the 80s.
There was
the whole
one
Valley Girl speech.
in this one, and I had never heard it before.
Bag your face.
Yes, bag your face.
People said bag your face, and bag your face would show up in
Really?
80s movies, and I don't know if her friends actually said it or if that's
right.
That she meant gag me with the spoon, bag your face.
Oh my God.
You know, Frank was 52 when he died from an aggressive form of cancer, but he had an interesting third act in his life where he became a real outspoken critic of parental warning labels on albums.
Oh, really?
And he would debate Tipper Gore. Now, Tipper Gore wasn't the first lady of the United States then, but she would be soon. And I wish I could have gotten in this. Apparently, even though Tipper Gore wanted to put warning labels on albums, and Frank Zappa was very opposed to that, somehow she became a close family friend and would stay with the Zappas whenever she visited Southern California. I mean...
So gross. Like all the stuff like sticks to the plate. It's like somebody else's food. You know, it's like grody to the max.
Grody to the max. There's another one. All right, let's take a break. Steve Kaplowitz is here. The Cowboys won their second preseason game over the Raiders, and everybody, I guess, today is talking about Trey Lance. We're going to get Steve's feedback on the Cowboys' second preseason, just one more preseason to go before the regular season starts against Cleveland, and more of the Buzz Adams Morning Show's coming up right after this.
Hey, it's Daniel Paulus. I'll be along starting at 3 with everything from AC/DC to Alice in Chains to God.
Had a preseason game. How much can you really tell from these preseason games?
None.
There were some exciting plays in it.
Yeah,
Trey Lance was in at quarterback for most of the time.
I mean, look, the Cowboys want to look at Trey. He's a free agent after this year. They want to realize they're looking to see if they want to invest in him after this season. They're giving him a long look, and they also want to know that if Dak goes down with an injury, can Trey Lance step in and take things over, or do they need to stay with Cooper Rush? I think
Based on
that's
what you saw, what do you think? Trey Lance moves up to number 2, or
I don't know. I thought they did great when Cooper was quarterback. I really did. I mean, I don't think Cooper Rush is a starting quarterback in this league, but he's a perfect backup. But that being said, yeah, I mean, you traded for Trey Lance so he could eventually, get starting reps. I'd probably put him as the number 2 over over Cooper Rush.
Any chance Dak stays healthy the entire season, or is that just too much?
No, of course there's a chance. No, there's a chance. I mean, Dak had a great year last year. He was like, almost MVP of the league. So, and he was healthy last year. I think there's definitely a good chance.
Wait, Buzz, are you saying that he's never healthy?
I'm saying that there have been disappointing seasons where he wasn't at 100% before. Now, there was an exciting moment right before the half.
There was.
They decided they were going to kick an improbable field goal, and Brandon Aubrey hit it from 66 yards, which, if it had been a regular season game, would have tied the all-time longest field goal. And he cleared it by, 5-10 yards.
That thing could have been made from 72, 73. Yeah, it was a bomb.
That dude is a real sniper. I mean, not only does he have the leg to get him there, but he's
accurate.
He's accurate.
Yeah, he's good. I really
amazing.
I like Brandon Aubrey a lot. I mean, he is one of the best kickers in the league.
Hey, do you know if they do what they did in The Replacements, that movie with Keanu Reeves? Do they ever use like ex-English soccer players? Or
yes, that's happened.
That was a big thing in the 70s. There were a lot of Europeans who were soccer players.
Ralph Penershka, Jan Stenerud.
Yeah,
there were a
really?
ton. Oh Morten Andersen, who is Danish. Yeah, that's right.
A lot of Mexican stars were soccer players.
The Zendejas. Yeah. Remember Zendejas kicking field goals? Luis Zendejas. There was Luis Zendejas, and there was a few other Zendejas that were very NFL kickers. Yeah.
So Cowboys have one more preseason game on Saturday. It's going to be their only home game for the preseason against the Chargers, and then their season starts September 8th on the road with Cleveland.
When are they going to sign CeeDee Lamb? That's my question. Because here's the thing, right?
You got to sign CeeDee Lamb.
You have to sign CeeDee Lamb. You have to end the holdout. And then when he comes back, how long will it take for him to really get the rust off? Because, even if he wouldn't be playing a lot in the preseason, he's still getting to work out with the team, and now he's not. So you say, he's got to get back up to speed. There's a lot going on with that whole situation.
I bet knowing CeeDee Lamb, he is
Oh, I'm
keeping
sure.
the edge pretty honed.
But CeeDee Lamb is one of the top receivers in all of football, so you don't want to screw around with that. Like, you want to make sure that by week 1, you've got him back there, he's ready to go. And my bigger question is always their injury risk. Like, when players are sitting out and then they sign late in the process, right, and they come back, to me, they're more prone to get hurt because maybe they haven't been in the facility like everybody else has. And even though they're working out on their own, who knows? Hamstrings, groins, all sorts of injuries could pop up, especially if they don't keep themselves in tip-top shape.
What are the chances Jerry Jones is sucking the youth out of all of the players to keep himself?
Like, literally, he's got
the fountain of Jerry?
Like, as a body, as a blood boy?
Yeah, like a blood boy. Or more like a picture of Dorian Gray style. Like, there's a picture of Jerry Jones getting older up there.
You know what's interesting about Jones?
Jerry Jones looking older, too.
It is. And the truth is this. Jerry's had plastic surgery. I mean, you look at Jerry sometimes and it's kind of creepy. So, but he is aging. But you remember the time we saw Jerry and all of a sudden he looked younger? It was kind of weird. From like one year to the next, something you looked at me like, what happened to Jerry?
Have you ever seen him in person?
No. I take that back. Yes. But when I saw Jerry Jones in person, it was in the late 90s when he used to come into town for those controlled scrimmages that the Cowboys had for 3 years at the Sun Bowl.
Only sellout at the Sun Bowl for the entire football season would have been those controlled scrimmages.
Yeah, that's right.
They had in July.
Oh, yeah. And they were big.
Cool, though.
They were awesome.
Oh, it was packed.
Yeah, it was. And you had Aikman, you had Emmett, you had Irvin, you had Dion.
Wow.
This was when the Cowboys were just a few years removed from winning their last Super Bowl. So the whole team was still basically intact.
Yeah, we were still under the impression they might win another Super Bowl.
That's right.
Back then.
That's right. Remember Barry Switzer was here?
Good morning, Mo Show. Hey, Buzz. Hey, Cappy. Hey, Cappy. That Aubrey kick, that's pretty much like our best offensive weapon always. And then Jerry gets rid of them when we should keep them because he doesn't want to pay the kickers.
Wait, is Jerry's not going to get rid of Brandon
No, he's not
Aubrey?
gonna
I
get
mean,
rid of
really, that is 3 points pretty much whenever you
It's
want
automatic.
it.
It's automatic. And
Anyways, I'm a longtime Cowboys fan. I got to stay optimistic, but I am also realistic at the same time. Dak's going to make all these stats and stuff, and then here come the Niners, and here come the Packers. Them hard games are kind of hard for Dak to win, you know what I mean? The must-win games. But anyways, y'all have a good day, guys. Love y'all. Bye-bye.
Hey, so our engineer, this is not sports-related, Steve. I know you got to hit the road.
I do.
He came in to let us know that Troy Donahue passed. Troy Donahue. Phil Donahue. There was a famous actor named, there was a semi-famous actor named Troy Donahue. Phil Donahue passed away. Yes. And Mike, our engineer, said, let me see if I can get them all. Phil Donahue, Sally Jesse Raphael, Ricky Lake were daytime schlock TV viewing when he was a kid. Mm-hmm. Who else would you put in there? Geraldo. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah, Geraldo.
Geraldo got his nose broken by a neo-Nazi with a chair. Remember
he
that?
did. I thought Geraldo's show was on before Ricky Lake, but maybe I'm wrong.
It was. Ricky Lake really didn't come on the scene until the 90s.
Yeah, mid-90s.
Donahue in the 70s.
Donahue was the big show.
And remember, he had white hair back then.
Yes, he did.
He was like under 40, and he had white hair.
He always had white hair. But Donahue was the greatest. Like, everybody watched Phil Donahue. And you know what? I still, to this day, when we do like these radio station events at, like, let's say Alamo Draft House, and we have all these clients there, and then we get the microphone and we let them ask questions, I'm running up the aisles just like Phil was back in the day when he was letting people ask questions.
Right.
He would do the
run
same
with
thing.
his little stick mic
Yes.
up and down.
Yes.
Let me throw a couple more.
Jerry Springer?
Jerry Springer was
90s,
later.
90s.
Okay, that's the only reference I have is 90s
Here's one
trash
for you.
TV.
Morton Downey Jr.
Oh, he was the greatest. So Morton Downey Jr. started.
Abusive.
He started on the
if he had
New York TV.
If the topic was strippers or porn stars,
yep,
he'd have the stripper or porn star, and he would call them like a filthy, disgusting whore.
Oh yeah!
Right?
Oh my God!
And then his audience would scream, "Mort, Mort, Mort." It was basically Jerry Springer before Jerry Springer is Morton Downey.
Oh my,
yeah.
Joanna, you have to look up Morton Downey Jr.
This guy would yell,
and he looks very interesting.
He has to be gone, right? Morton Downey
He died in 2001.
Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah.
The first thing people ask, are Robert Downey Jr. and Morton Downey related?
I believe they are not.
They are not.
That was a good one, though. Morton Downey Jr., yeah. But Phil was the best. I mean, Phil paved the way for everybody in the talk show business. There's no doubt about it. Oh, yeah. Way before Oprah.
You have several interviews with Jerry Springer from the 90s or early 2000s, I guess. I was going.
You're asking or saying?
Well, I'm telling because I'm going through your old tapes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was promoting Jerry Springer show.
Yeah.
All the time, at least once a year.
We lost Jerry too. It's amazing. We've lost a lot of them.
So Tyreek Hill says he wants to race Olympic medalist Noah Lyles, and I guess Noah Lyles said something about the Super Bowl champions not really being the world champions. So here's Tyreek Hill of the Miami Dolphins.
Noah Lyles can't say nothing after what just happened to him. You know what I'm saying? Then he want to come out and pretend like he's sick. I feel like that's like, so for him to like do that and say that we're not world champions of like our sport says like, come on, bro, like just speak on what you know about.
I guess what he was talking about was Noah Lyles was sick, and he still got a bronze medal even though he was sick, but they had to put a mask on him and put him in a wheelchair.
I like the trash talking between Tyreek Hill and Noah Lyles. That's good.
Cross sport.
All right, here we'll go back and forth. Noah Lyles, Olympic champion, says Tyreek Hill doesn't really want to race him.
Tyreek is just chasing clout. The man, anytime somebody fast comes up, he says he wants to race him. If he really wanted to race people, he would have showed up like DK Metcalf. And the man raced in the 60 meters this year in the Masters division. The man dodges smoke. I don't got time for that.
Wow.
Dodges smoke.
There's been in the past an idea of you take the fastest person on the planet and teach him to catch a football. Do you remember Ronaldo Nehemiah from the 80s?
He played in the NFL. Ronaldo Nehemiah had a career with the 49ers. He was good.
Was a sprinter.
Yes.
To begin with.
And by the way,
I'm surprised.
Brilliant move by Carmen Policy and Bill Walsh to give Nehemiah an opportunity to play in the NFL and make it work.
Tyreek Hill says that he would beat Noah Lyles in a race.
I would beat Noah Lyles.
You think so?
I would beat Noah Lyles.
Like by a lot?
No, I wouldn't beat him by a lot, but I would beat Noah Lyles.
By a lot. That's the greatest. He's the fastest man in the world, and he's asking Tyreek Hill, you going to crush him? You going to blow him away? I mean,
God, can you imagine if Usain Bolt had been able to catch a football the way Odell Beckham Jr. could?
That's true.
6'5", fastest man on the planet for like 10 years in a row.
Can't you just put sticky stuff on your hands?
How tall is Noah Lyles, by the way?
I don't know that. I do know that Usain Bolt, though, was a
big,
giant.
He'd be a big target. With his speed, yeah.
Finally, Noah Lyles says, look, if Tyreek is serious about racing, get my people on the phone.
If he's truly serious about it, I'm not talking about you just talking on the internet and you ain't actually coming to me and talking to my agent and saying, let's set something up. You are seriously about it. You'll see me on the track.
All right, Steve, I got to let you go.
5'11", by the way.
5'11". So, yeah, that's, that's fine. There's a lot of good 5'11" receivers in the NFL with speed. Yes.
But just imagine being the fastest guy on the field, the fastest, and 6'5", like Usain Bolt is.
Didn't Jesse Owens, when he was winning Olympic gold medals, didn't he used to race horses?
Gosh.
I think he raced a horse in El Paso at Dudley Field.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Jesse
Owens
raced a horse
in the early 40s, came to El Paso, and before a baseball game, check this out, Nico.
Got it.
I'm almost positive Jesse Owens raced a horse around the country. I was like a barnstorming thing, and I believe he did it in El Paso in the early 40s.
You are absolutely well. Okay, I don't have confirmation that it was in El Paso, but he was racing horses.
He had an advantage because he didn't have to have a jockey on his back.
Dude, Jesse Owens, racing horse, Dudley Field, El Paso. And I'm willing to bet it was like 41 or 42. And if I'm not mistaken, I can't remember if he won or lost the race because he did this so much. There were horses that would beat him, but there were also times he would beat the horses themselves. And I think he might have had a head start.
This is actually part of a sadder story about Jesse Owens because I guess after the Olympics, right?
It's what he did to make money. Like this
he
guy who
struggled to
should've-
find work, so he became a gas station attendant, playground janitor, manager of a dry cleaning firm. So
Guy who would race horses at Dudley Field.
Motorbikes, cars, trucks, and horses. He would race them all for cash prizes.
Really, we should have just backed a truckload full of money up to his house for putting Hitler in his place.
You stood up to Hitler.
That's right. That's right.
Dak Prescott, during a press conference, was able to sneak. Well, look, count him. How many Post Malone songs is he able to fit in? And specifically, songs off Post Malone's F1 Trillion song titles into one press conference. Post Malone is a big Cowboys fan.
Huge.
And I guess Dak is a Post Malone fan because when we've added a bell.
Okay.
Let you know every song title that Dak's able to get in
Let's
just
hear it.
one press conference.
Somebody pour me a drink. Yeah, I mean, I think we're talking about the finer things. I think it goes without saying that I'm fine. Maybe the wrong ones started the whole ankle gate or something, is this and that. I told you guys before, I don't want to necessarily nosedive back into what happened in the offseason. And honestly, I've got a guy for that, Luke. Whether it's winning or losing.
Takes talent.
The audio keeps lagging.
Whether it's winning or losing.
It's buffering, Joanna. It hasn't buffered. I won't buffer. I've never seen that before.
You won't buffer.
I'll buff her.
Did we ever talk about Hawk Tua girl throwing out the first pitch at the Met game?
Okay, I just saw
heard
this.
That, was it Mike Francesca or somebody was just extremely livid that the Mets would have Hawk Tua girl throw out a pitch.
There's actually a sportscaster and a sports radio guy in New York. His name is Joe Benigno. He's been doing it forever, right? He's a New York legend. Hadn't heard the story. And when they told him it was Hawk Tua, he thought that they had said hot tuna girl.
Hot tuna.
Hot tuna. So
Hot tuna girl. That's a different girl.
Got it wrong. But yes, the Mets had
There's
hot.
no losers around here, so we've.
Dang
It's
it.
still buffering.
It's still buffering.
Anyway.
Hawk Tua girl responds to first pitch backlash.
Well, you know why, right? She throws at the first pitch, and then the Mets blow a 5-0 lead in the same game.
And they're blaming Hawk Tua
Did they
girl.
spit on it before they blew it?
It was brutal, man. It was brutal. So, yes,
So-
it was so fitting. Fitting it happened.
What? Okay, so if you have Hawk Tua girl.
Yep.
Yeah, she went viral, but what she went viral for was talking about a sex move.
Correct.
Hawk Tua.
You got to give them that Hawk Tua. Don't you have a sounder for that?
And you know what the Mets did when they introduced her? They introduced her on Kids Day at Citi Field.
As Hawk Tua girl?
No. As a viral sensation. That is how the Mets had her throw out the first pitch. They just said,
I feel like if they
"Here we
don't
go."
say the words Hawk Tua,
But how about this?
they're not correctly identifying her.
How about inviting Hawk to throw out the first pitch on Kids Day at Citi Field?
Mm-hmm.
If that doesn't send a great message to the fans, I don't know what does.
Hey, kids, Google her.
Yeah, go look her up. She's viral. Trust us. All right. Thanks, Cappy.
All right, guys.
Let's take a break. We'll come back with more of the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Nico is going to be here for the entire final hour of the show. That's incredible.
We'll see.
So we can really get things going now. More on the way right after this.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5.
Drowning Pool, ages 21 and over. See Speaking Rock's Facebook for more info.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Inderman Personal Injury Lawyers at GVILaw.com.
All right, Joanna has the Hollywood Cheese May on the way. That's coming up here in just a few moments, but we've got a few minutes to take phone calls.
Ooh.
Get to some of the calls that we haven't addressed yet. Let me give out both of our main numbers. So there's the neckline number. If you want to call and leave a recorded message, you could do this anytime you like, 24 hours a day, over the weekend, whenever you want to drop us a message, we'll get it. Neckline number is 844-805-NECK. That's 844-805-6325. To call us directly in the studio, you want to talk directly to us, or if we're doing a contest, make sure you use the KLAQ studio line. And that number is 915-910-1010. 4995. That's 910 and then 4995.
Whoa. Hold on, morning show. Stop the presses. Did you just say caramel apple empanada? That was my favorite fast food dessert. I've been so disappointed since they discontinued it. It is the most delicious. It's like the McDonald's apple pie times 50. It's so good. It's so delicious. The only thing, it's got a nice crispy caramelly shell on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing, though, warning: if you purchase them, they're piping hot. They will burn your mouth. Not an exaggeration. That caramel is scalding hot. Just a little forewarning for you.
Just a little warning.
Nice.
They are scalding.
Thank you for the warning.
Do not bite into one.
Wait a bit.
Was that Daddy D?
That was Daddy D.
Yeah. You know, good call, Daddy D.
Yeah, seriously.
That was a good call. Got to the point. It was short. Wasn't unhinged a little.
It was entertaining and informative. Yeah, sometimes Daddy D is so mad about the stuff he's calling in. It's just like, I don't want to subject everybody to it, but that was a real good call there, Daddy D.
Do you want to? Oh.
I was going to take another call.
Oh, I was going to ask you, do you want to hear a... okay, so the reason I brought... he's bringing up the caramel apple empanada is because...
They're bringing back old menu items from the 80s and 70s.
From the 80s and 70s. In the 70s, there was something called a green burrito. And
it's a burrito that's been left out too long.
Here's a commercial for it if you want to hear it.
Sure, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Give me a taco and I'll make that 2 tacos. 2 tacos? Okay. What's that? That's a burrito supreme. Sour cream, fresh lettuce and tomatoes. Ooh, I'll have one of those instead. Burrito supreme. What's that? Oh, that's a tostada. I have one of those too. Okay. Wait a minute. What's that? Oh, that is an enchilito. Now that's got pinto beans, cheese on the top.
An enchilito?
Now, second thought. What was I ordered first? The Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
That was cute.
That was cute.
Yo, morning show.
Oh,
You're talking about potatoes. Did you know that Pringles are not actually technically potato chips? And there's so much so that on their packaging, they're not labeled chips. They're called crisps. Fake food. We're eating fake food. The food is fake, like the news. Fake.
Well, I didn't think when I was eating any kind of potato chip, I don't think I'm eating something directly from the bounty of nature's harvest or anything.
Well, I would expect potatoes to be in there. But
to be an ingredient?
Right.
Have you ever heard that most American bread that you buy at the grocery store, Wonder Bread or Rainbow or whatever, in Europe, it could not be labeled bread because of the sugar amount.
It was a cake.
It would have to be labeled cake.
Okay, this is crazy.
You mean to tell me I'm eating cake with my sandwich?
By European standards, you are eating a cake sandwich. If you're using just regular white bread.
Pringles are only 42% potato.
What the hell is the rest?
Yeah, okay. The rest is a dough made from corn, rice, and wheat flour. And then 42% dehydrated potatoes. It takes 3 potatoes to make a can of Pringles.
I just remember they were really cool because they came in, such a unique package.
And then
when we first had
pop.
Pringles.
Once you pop, you don't stop.
They're super cheap, too.
I mean, not lately they haven't.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm not paying like $3 for a can of Pringles.
You know what else you can do with the can afterwards?
What's that?
Put tennis balls in them.
Yes, sure. Fleshlight is another thing. Whatever.
Oh, my God.
Explain to me how that would work.
Yeah, how... I mean...
Well, just as the outer shell, as the casing. And then you have to fill it with...
What do you fill it with?
Well, whatever I think your preference
is. This is a call...
I mean, my preference...
Hey, good morning, Mojo. This is Julian. I had a question for y'all. has anyone else noticed like a million car washes opening up everywhere? I mean, like every corner. I'm on far east side, and they're everywhere. Coming soon, or they just opened up. It's like all the drug dealers here in El Paso barely discovered Breaking Bad. I don't know what's going on, man. It's really weird. I remember back in the day, there was just a few. There was like that one Premier car wash. I can't remember the name of it. They had one that was, it was off of Lee Trevino, and then there was another one that was at Silla Vista Mall.
Mm-hmm.
Buzz, you probably remember, man.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, I remember spending like $80 that I detailed my car for prom. What a waste, man. That chick was a freaking Momo. Anyway.
All right.
What?
A Momo?
What the hell is a Momo?
A moron, maybe?
Anyways, just thought I'd ask
Julian, call back and
if you
tell
guys
us.
recognize that or notice that at all. It's really weird. Anyways, I'll have a good morning. Peace.
Well, yeah, there are a lot of car washes, but I guess people wash their car a lot. Some people wash their car once or twice a week. Have you ever heard of the mattress store conspiracy? This is an interesting one.
You told me about this.
Oh, have I told you about it?
Yeah, but I don't think you told me on air. You told me like
Yeah, I'm
off air.
very curious about this. I will say I've seen a ton
There
of car
are
washes.
a lot of and I hear they're pricey.
They're getting a little bit more pricey.
Some of them
Not if you
offer-
want to do it yourself.
Some of them offer, I think, subscription services.
Yes, those
so,
are the ones that like you pay like $30 a month and you get unlimited washes.
So here's kind of in a nutshell the mattress store conspiracy. Mattress firm is some kind of giant money laundering scheme. They are effing everywhere, and nobody's ever in them. I remember seeing 4 mattress firms all on each corner of an intersection. There's no way there's such a demand for mattresses.
Yeah, what? So what are they doing?
You can catch me at a mattress firm in a couple of weeks.
They're literally
so.
stuffing for your remote. They're literally stuffing money.
No.
In the
I think,
in the mattress.
I think the implication is that, I mean, how often do you buy a mattress? Once every 20 years, maybe.
Once in a lifetime.
Some people once in a lifetime. Why are there so many mattress stores? Not just mattress firm, just any mattress store. There's a bunch of them. And if you were to go into one, you would probably be by yourself because there's not anybody in there shopping for mattresses.
Yeah, it's not packed.
The conspiracy is that this is really just how they launder money by running it through a legitimate business. Snopes says no.
they're selling mattresses.
No.
Snopes says they're selling mattresses.
Okay.
The guy who originally wrote this comment, a few people seem confused. I'm talking about multiple of the same mattress store, all in close proximity to each other, not different mattress stores. Like if there were 4 different companies all next door, I get that, but the same company.
Right.
There are a lot of mattress stores, seemingly more than there's justification for. A mattress is not something you buy every year. I mean, at least a car wash is something you could do
after it
many
rains.
times. Yeah, many times a year. Let's see. There's a podcast that the Business Insider does who tackled this. What is the deal with mattress stores? Specifically mattress firm stores. Why are they everywhere? Why are they sometimes within a block of each other? So they break it down into 3 parts by way of explanation. Number 1 is a made-up word, I think. Over-mattressification.
Yep, it might not be real.
Anyway, there's no actual evidence that anything other than selling mattresses is going on inside a mattress store.
Sure.
It's the Hollywood Cheese Man. It's the Hollywood Cheese Man. Joanna, tell us more.
Here is Joanna Barbo with our look at entertainment, the Hollywood Cheese Man. Good morning, Joanna.
Good morning. Halle Berry revealed in a recent interview with comicbook.com while promoting her upcoming Netflix movie, The Union, that she was never asked by Ryan Reynolds to return to her X-Men movie role of Storm for Deadpool and Wolverine. The record-breaking Marvel blockbuster featured the surprise returns of several heroes from Fox's Marvel era, but she also said that it was actually his wife, Blake Lively, who had asked her if she would return as Storm. She said, quote, Blake asked me one time, I ran into her at a Marc Jacobs fashion show. And she said, would you ever be in my husband's movie as Storm? I said, yeah, if he asked me, but he never asked me. Barry played Storm opposite Hugh Jackman's Wolverine in 4 X-Men movies, and a couple of characters from those movies popped up in Deadpool and Wolverine. The film's director, Sean Levy, previously had said that Barry was never discussed, nor was Patrick Stewart's Charles Xavier, was never considered or discussed during development for a cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine.
They had plenty of cameos.
They had a
now
lot,
that,
yeah.
Now that we can talk about Deadpool, Wolverine, I won't give out of control spoilers, but there are enough cameos for everybody.
Oh, yeah. There was enough. The slapstick-loving minions from Despicable Me have helped power the franchise to $5.4 billion and counting at worldwide box office, making it the highest-grossing animated series in history. Chris Renaud, who directed the first 2 Despicable Me films and returned this year for the 4th sequel, recently spoke to Filmhounds magazine and was asked about Disney's trend of turning its animated classics into live-action movies, and would he ever want to see the Minions jump to that format? His answer, and I quote, God, I hope not.
Right. How would you make them look like people, or would they still look like
would
little...
they be still animated and everything around them be not animated? Renaud continued by saying, quote, if there were conversations like that, I haven't been privy to them. But for me, what defines the world is that it is animated and it allows us to get away with what we get away with, like locking a minion in the vending machine. These are really cartoon ideas, like what would have been in a Bugs Bunny cartoon. Pixar's chief creative officer, Pete Docter, also recently shot down the idea of turning Pixar movies into live-action films. Earlier this year, Elvis Presley's Graceland was seemingly going to fall out of the Presleys' hands. At the time, it was alleged that Lisa Marie Presley had put up the historic site as collateral for a loan she failed to repay before she passed away. Those claims, however, were found to be very, very shaky. Now, federal prosecutors have accused Lisa Janine Finley of trying to conduct a fraudulent sale of Graceland by claiming the historic site was collateral for the bad loan. She reportedly has a long history of small-time scams and fraud. Now Finley is facing prison time up to 20 years for mail fraud and a mandatory minimum of 2 years for aggravated identity theft. She made her first court appearance on Friday and allegedly wrote an explanation to the court, the Presley family, and media, claiming that the true perpetrator in the Graceland plot is an identity thief based in Nigeria.
A Nigerian prince.
A Nigerian prince, one might say.
A prince was trying to steal from the king.
Yeah, that is what she is saying. And finally, a news that surprises no one. Kevin Costner's period Western Horizon An American Saga Chapter 1 now has a streaming date. The first chapter in the former Yellowstone Stars film saga will release on Max this coming Friday. Following the film's disappointment at the box office, Chapter 1, which runs for 3 hours and 1 minute, opened to just $11 million over the June 28th through the 30th weekend.
This is one of those where I'm going to have to watch it, because everybody said it was a disaster and lost money, and I haven't heard anybody say if it's a good movie or not.
That's a good point. Everyone's just
saying
how
that it lost a lot of money.
Yeah, but nobody's actually given me a review.
Sometimes when I hear these movies and the whole story is that they're bad or didn't live up to expectations or whatever, sometimes I'm pleasantly surprised.
Well, Costner's Territory Pictures and distribution partner New Line Cinema had decided to pause on releasing Horizon Chapter 2. The second installment was pulled from a planned August 16th theater release. That was this past Friday. They wanted to give audiences the opportunity to discover the first installment on PVOD and on Max. So you can now check that out this coming Friday, Buzz. With your entertainment news, I'm Joanna Barba.
Well, that's it. Show's over. What? We just started.
Yeah, well, the show's over.
That's the end.
That's not the end.
Why, yes, it is.
Right, that's the end.
And that's the end. That's the end.
The morning show will be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. Now,